is filmed in front of a live internet audience.
I am riffing. Mitch is riffing. What more can I say? Straight riffing. Do you know how fucking desperate I am for some comfort in my life? I need that pillow.
This show is intended for mature audiences only.
I've seen a lot of dicks.
I don't know how much more disgusting this experience could get.
Are you really not having a good time?
I'm having a fantastic time. I just can't believe how disgusting you are.
I kept yelling, I'm not gonna whip my dick out. We talked about that. I'm not gonna do that.
Featuring your host, Mitch Marzoni.
I don't walk around going like, hey, I'm really weird. Look at me, I'm weird. As far as I'm concerned, I'm perfectly normal. It's a litmus test for freakiness.
And Teddy Tutson.
I'm a hate mercenary. Yeah.
All right. Hate mercenary.
Hater for hire. Hater for hire. I should put on good disguise.
There are two victimless crimes, all right? One, jerking off when your window's open. Two, necrophilia.
I'm confessing to a large-scale crime.
Okay, all right.
Now.
Legs akimbo, engaged in sexual discourse.
Come on, man. What kind of guest are you?
It's archived for posterity.
Great internet.
So it'll come back to haunt you every day.
It's time to riff.
Oh, that is right, bitches and motherfuckers. It is August 20th, 2012, episode 75, and it is time to riff the fuck on. I'm your host, Reverend Mitch, and with me, as always, is the difficult Brown, the hater for hire, Mr. Teddy, TMI Tutson. How in the fuck are you, sir?
I'm feeling real good, Mitch. I'm feeling on that Rosa Parks riffing right now. I'm on that Montgomery boycott. I ain't getting up for nobody. I'm sitting here because I'm tired. Go move your own damn bus, boycott riffing, son. What you know about that, Mitch?
Get your hand out of his pocket. And please welcome our special guest this evening, Miss Abbey Londer. How are you?
I'm great. I'm fine. I'm lovely. I was taking that intro in, to be quite honest. I was
okay.
like, this is impressive.
It is big.
Yeah.
You could hear the grandness in her voice as she was awestruck.
Yeah,
Very
well,
awestruck.
it's good. That's what we go for. We go for some awestruckness. Let me do some.
Here we go. It's episode 75,
Sorry, I'm
Mitch.
really short.
We're knocking at the door.
No, I just didn't want to like.
Century mark.
It's like covering your face. I got a camera behind me.
Yeah.
So you're broadcasting.
Oh.
Yeah. See. Yeah. So, there you go. So now everybody can see you.
We shut off the goods.
So it's all good. So how you must be crazy fucking busy. Right
yeah,
now.
I'm pretty fucking, things are really busy. Yeah, we just launched the website a couple of days ago, I think on like Saturday at around...
By the way,
5
anybody
o'clock.
not in the
We
know,
should tell
Abbey
them
Londer.
We should tell them what she's been
I was
busy about.
hoping
You
she
guys
was going to
don't
mention
know?
it. I was hoping she was going to mention it.
We have a very well-informed audience. They pick up on things, context clues-wise, very quickly.
Abby is executive producer of I want to say Los Angeles' first and only alternative comedy festival. I don't know if I'm right about that, but I'm going to say it.
You can say that.
Riot LA.
Official approval. Nice.
RiotLA.com or Facebook.com/RiotLA. I think I have those right.
Yeah, that is right.
Okay.
We, there is one other comedy festival in the city of Los Angeles, but it's fucking horrible. I don't care. I'll go
They
on
don't matter.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Why? Because fuck them. That's why.
It's
Yeah,
just, it's...
exactly.
This is, but beyond that, I mean, I'm sure... that-
Is it also an
Listen.
alternative comedy festival? Or is it
It's
just like
not an
fucking-
alternative comedy festival,
Okay.
no. It's
See,
very
that's what I'm saying.
broad. It covers a lot more ground than mine does. It covers improv, sketch, stand-up,
Oh, who has time
short
for that?
films, and all that stuff.
So you're
Mine's-
saying they got no focus?
they have no
lack discipline.
fucking focus. But it's,
You lack discipline.
but ours is
Right.
great. Ours is mostly stand-up, and we have podcasts, and we also have some panels and things like that. But more importantly, we just have like good comedy.
Right? You just rolled out the lineup, right? You're like
I
still
did,
kind of
I
rolling it
just-
out, kind of.
I have a
Yeah, I checked
pretty-
last night.
Actually,
It's like
when will this-
75% of the way
When will
there.
this go live?
We're live.
We're live right now.
We're
I
live right
can't
now.
say it.
You can't. Oh, you got
No,
secrets?
I got
Oh,
secrets.
damn it, Abby.
I got secrets, but
It'll
you know
be
what?
it'll
Tomorrow,
be live tonight as well.
Tomorrow we'll be live.
You can
tomorrow.
download it.
I
You can
can't
download
say
it tonight.
anything.
Oh.
It's
Damn.
legally
All right.
bound.
All right.
But
All right.
tomorrow we have a huge announcement. So check that out, guys.
Okay.
And
You
then
reanimated George Carlin's corpse, and he's
Actually,
come
we're
back to
doing
bitch about
We're
dying.
doing a hologram of Richard Pryor. We're gonna.
Oh,
copy
word!
that.
I knew it. Office pool. I'm collecting on everybody.
You know how you be hologram, right?
Going down to
You know you
Sharky's.
be a hologram, and you be a hologram, right?
I was like, that is a good idea what they
Like-
did with that hologram. I'm gonna do the same thing.
First question: hologram.
Right off the
Richard
bat,
Pryor.
I would totally go watch that. I would
Can you
absolutely go see
freebase as a hologram? I would want to know that. I think that's a very pertinent question.
You know how you be freebasing as a hologram, right?
I would think so.
I would think if
You're-
anybody
you're
could
a
pioneer that
hologram.
trick, it would be Richard Pryor as the
Right.
hologram. I think so.
Yeah, you think he'd go back to it because he's like, nothing can happen to me now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I'm
I'm
already
definitely.
dead.
I can experiment. This is
Yeah.
definitely a place to do it.
Like, it don't matter if I burn myself up now, motherfucker. Shit.
So how did you come up with the Riot LA Comedy Festival? Walk us through your brainchild's inception.
Oh,
How does
God.
this? How does it all come to be?
I was drunk and looking at Kickstarter. and
Very
thought,
close. Very close. No, it was. You've known me since I was doing comedy back in the Disney.
Back in the day,
and like I.
sweet and sour comedy.
Yeah, that was like one of the first shows that I did, and right when I started doing stand up, I immediately fell in love with it. But I also started producing shows very early on, and I found that I was good in it, and I enjoyed that. But what I really did it for me was it was probably 2 years ago, and I had a like Just for Laughs Montreal audition, just like everybody else in this city does. And it didn't go well. Obviously, I didn't get it. But when I remember thinking afterwards, like, why does somebody have to go to Montreal and spend all this money to go see all of these great people that already live here?
Right.
And so I just kind of thought of the idea of a festival, and then I just like was like, that's stupid, and didn't touch it for like 8 months. And then I basically started thinking about it more, and then I produced more shows, bigger shows. And finally, I just started talking about the idea to people, and I just did it.
So when you were in Montreal, did you see a lot of LA comics
Oh,
up
I
there?
wasn't in Montreal.
Not in Montreal. Sorry, my apologies. But you didn't actually go to the festival. You
I
just did
didn't
the
go to the
audition. That's right, you
festival,
did the
but I was
audition.
wondering why, in general, there wasn't a festival at all in Los Angeles, just because it's like
Right.
everybody lives here,
Yeah.
which was one of the hugest. Which is something.
It's a weird comedy scene in LA.
It is a weird comedy scene in LA, and fuck it, I'm just gonna like get on this riff because I guess that's what this is about, right?
Yeah,
But
we're
like
here for riffing.
we have had
Peter Griffin.
since the website has launched, most everybody has been super excited and super stoked for the lineup. But we have had a couple of negative feedback comments, which are things that I already expected that people would say.
Sure.
Such as, and this is one of the reasons why I tucked that idea back for 8 months, and it was just because it was like, oh, why have a festival in LA when LA is a festival every day? And I get where they're coming from because you can see most of the performers on my lineup in LA on any given night of the week. But what is so ridiculous about that sort of negativity is that, like, if you like fucking comedy and you're a huge fan of comedy, why wouldn't you get on board with a festival that was all on one block and had, 3 days of nothing but shows, over 100
Sure,
performers?
sure.
It's $45. If
Right.
you know what, fine, go ahead and see Patton Oswalt at like the Improv and spend $20 on a ticket, and then $20 on drinks, and then be like $45 in the hole for one show at
Sure.
a comedy club. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then parking.
And then parking and all that.
That's mostly like Comedy Store. It's my
if
biggest
you're on a
complaint about
date,
Comedy
forget
Store.
about it.
Right.
$55 to walk in the door.
Yeah. I mean, you're
20
gonna-
bucks
it's
on
gonna
parking
equal
on the
out.
Sunset Strip. They'll ask you your 2 drinks when you walk in,
Yeah.
and then you spending $20 on the ticket, even if you're just seeing your buddy and like 8 other people that
Yeah.
just learn how to do comedy that day and know how to bring 3 people.
Right.
It's still going to cost you. So you're like, it's ridiculous. So it's
No, it's a
absurd.
basic cost benefit analysis. You're getting out better on the old comedy festival circuit.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
mean,
Cost
Sure,
benefit
sure.
analysis,
I
everyone.
like to bring out the old fancy words and
Yeah,
whatnot.
listen.
Highfalutin
Teddy
words.
and the CBA go way back.
Yeah.
All right.
But
They're,
like when you were
friends for a
doing, so
while.
you were doing Sweet and Sour Comedy at
I
Genghis
was
Cohen.
doing Genghis Cohen. Teddy, you've done that show.
Yeah, but it was a fun show because you brought in a lot of quality comedians, and the focus was more on, unlike a lot of shows in town, it's more like I'm just trying to jam pack people in and maybe make a little scratch. It was more like I do want to put on a lineup that has a lot of quality comics.
Yeah, I think when I first started that show, I tried to make it the best. But as that show grew, it was like it ran for a year. It was bi-weekly, and it was really great. And by the end of it, I really loved it. But I just couldn't take care of it at that venue anymore. But then after that, I like put on that show in that warehouse. I
I went to that one. It was
I put
downtown
on-
or something.
Yeah,
or?
I put on this show in this not abandoned, but like this huge warehouse.
I mean, let's be fair. The walk, I took the bus there, so like, yeah,
It
that
was
shit was
pretty
straight up a
sketch.
bit like
It was pretty sketch.
The walk from where the bus stop was to the actual warehouse was like straight out of. It was a scene from multiple movies. It was one where like. 3 movies probably, like a post-apocalyptic
Sure.
wasteland, you know what I'm saying, where you just like happen to find the industrial stretch and you just know some people are hiding in all the tubes and stuff because they've been scavenging for a while and they're very murderous. So it was like that kind of ominousness.
Sure.
Then it would also seem like a scene out of a Goodfellas movie where
Yeah.
like someone was waiting in the car to roll up and Tommy
Sure,
gun you
sure.
to death. Okay.
Look, any place that you go that's after the bus stops running,
Right. Yeah.
it's going to be a
And the
sketch.
third was your basic horror film meatpacking district.
It
what
was an
have you.
industrial downtown, which
Okay.
is definitely like.
Shit was very ominous. Okay.
But
a-
it was so fun.
It was a great time.
It was so
If
No,
fun.
you made it.
it's a good
If you
place
made
for
it down the
comedy.
walk,
Yeah,
it was great.
yeah.
If you made,
I made
nobody died,
ready to
Teddy.
giggle.
Do you
Nobody
know, Abby?
died.
Do you
Yeah,
know?
I
Have
know. I
You,
would've
have you
heard
checked the
about
blotter anytime? Would you have? Because I'm telling you, it's that dark down there.
Yeah, you may have. Yeah, it's a tight knit scene.
Somebody
Yeah.
might have died, but
Hey,
you
did you
know
hear about
what? Everybody
Susie?
else-
No, walking back from your show,
Okay.
8 dudes stabbed her at once.
That is actually a fear of mine that I have about the festival is that somebody will die at the festival and I'll just be like, it's ruined. Everything's ruined. I can never do this again because somebody died. But it like will be something ridiculous like a stroke that was not my fault or some
Yeah.
sort of.
Not
Nope.
like not like a mugging or anything, but like
No,
a
no, no,
choking
no,
on a
no.
pretzel.
Hey, there's
something
no
like
such
that.
thing as bad press at festivals. You're fine.
I
You're
hope
fine.
so.
Like,
If you were
hey,
putting
did
on
you
like
hear
if you're
there's a
putting on a
festival?
play and somebody in the play dies,
Yeah.
you know, like
Right.
Spider-Man, you're fucked.
Right.
But a
Next year.
festival, people would be like, dude, I'm going to that. There's a
year.
chance we could die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the hardcore
And
go.
we just don't eat pretzels before we go, and that way we don't choke like that other
There
person
is
did.
definitely a chance for people to kind of get a little bit rambunctious just because I don't know if you guys looked at the website.
I'm looking at
but
it right
there's-
now.
Okay, so
I
there's
did
a-
look at it last night, but I'm
Can we,
also
can
looking
we
at
show
it.
the people a little bit of the, is that possible?
No, I can't show the people.
You can't show the people.
I could show the two
Not
of you.
the people.
I want to see it again.
All right. all
so
right.
there's like a thing at the.
Anybody at home playing along,
There's-
riotla.com.
There's a thing.
Sorry, Riffopolis, I tried.
There's a thing at the festival called the Lot, and it's like KCRW is presenting the Lot, and it's like
Oh, I did see that mentioned.
it's at the top. Quit
Is it?
scrolling
Oh,
down.
It's at the top. All right,
To
all
the right,
Oh,
to
I
the
see.
right.
There we
There
go.
you
The
go.
lot. Yeah, there we go.
So this thing is really rad because like it's literally in the middle of all three of our venues, and we've rented it. And so on Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 6, we're giving away like free water, free Jarrito sodas, free beer. There's like a free photo booth, and then there's like over 20 different local vendors and food trucks and like DJs and all this random shit. So that is included in your festival pass. This is what I'm saying. It's gonna get crazy.
Well, see, this is where I got.
And
con-
I've seen a photo booth at an Abbey comedy venue, like the downtown one, and let
That's
me tell you,
true.
shit got wild. Okay.
Shit got real wild. Shit got
so
real.
it's
it
a
was the
titty
photo booth-
viewer.
Hey,
booth, or
hey! I
what's the- what
said
is-
wild, not indecent, sir. Behave thyself.
Well, what's
I
well
don't
then? What's
remember
wild?
anything.
Well, clearly
all
you
right.
need to
I
brush
mean,
up
I-
on a
I
dictionary.
do,
Merriam-Webster,
apparently.
shout out to you.
There's one. Jose's at home counting shout outs. So Jose, there you go. If you're keeping track at home, there's one. I was a little confused because I was comparing your Riot Pass versus the VIP Nokia Pass. Now, this is where I get wildly confused.
Okay.
I'm the kind of person who likes to buy VIP stuff because I don't like dealing with
I'm
the
a
normal
baller,
people.
you
Yeah.
understand?
I like
I don't like
balling,
to
right.
fuck with serfs.
I don't do bottle service at the table or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, if there's a place where they're like, you can stand here and nobody will bother you, I will buy that pass. So that's sort of what I thought. But then it was like admission to the lot, and I was like, well, that's in the thing anyway. And then the other one was admission to Comedy Mutant Club Nokia, which is kind of neat. It's Brian Posehn, Kyle Kinane, Pete Holmes, Arch Barker, Sean Patton, Ron Funches, Fortune Feemster? Feemster? Never heard of him. Sorry.
Her.
Him.
Her.
Her?
Her.
Fortune
Did I say her?
Feaster's a
Yeah.
girl,
Him?
I think you went through
I don't
every
know.
pronoun except the
I don't know.
Her.
Never heard
Him?
of that.
Her. Him?
It's
That
Her.
that act.
Him?
we.
Okay, I never heard of that performer.
That insty.
Apologies to said performer. But that's like on
It's
one of the
at-
nights,
It
and
is,
it's down
yeah.
the street.
This is sort of like a thing that just got added onto the
Yeah, it's
festival
on
sort of
Friday.
last minute because a lot of our performers are in this huge show at Club Nokia. So we worked out a deal with Club Nokia to get a pass that would include admission to that show because that show has got some pretty heavy hitters on it.
Sure, sure.
And normal tickets for that show are $25. So instead, we're going to give everybody, a $65 pass, which is $20 more than the regular pass to get into that show and everything else at Riot.
So many passes.
But
So,
regarding
it's
your
confusing
question
'cause
about
it's down the street, and it's while Maria Bamford is on stage.
yeah, you know what
well,
else
that's
is
the, that's, the,
interesting?
that's the festival, baby. You gotta make
You
decisions.
gotta make decisions. Thank you very much much because some other
Well,
guy
I was going
like,
to get into the other thing as well.
"Oh, what's the other thing?" Just,
Well, no, go. Let's go. 'Cause, no, let's take it one at a time. We got 2 hours. It's cool.
Mitch, go. What did
You were gonna respond to the first part of that.
Which was what again?
Decisions. It's decisions.
I can't.
No, before that. Never mind. It's okay. You sounded like I was cutting you off, so I didn't want to.
Decisions. We had another person that was sort of like, "How am I supposed to pick? This is shitty. Everything's at the same time." And I'm like, "That's a festival." Also, if you're complaining that the lineups are great, it's not a complaint.
I feel like
You know what I
like,
mean?
like if you throw a festival and everyone's like, "Well, I know I'm gonna be at 6 o'clock." Like,
I don't know
like,
where to go. I don't,
right?
like,
well, I don't. This
also,
is
that's
real easy.
awesome because then if one show is at capacity, then you can go to the other show and it's still going to be a
It's
great
a
show.
it's a weird thing to lament. You know, you're like, I don't
Yeah.
know how to decide between all the things that entertain me. It's like, well, then just do it and stop
Yeah.
whining, you bitch.
Well, that is sort of the
And
problem
the
I'm
other
having.
thing is that like,
is I'm
will-
literally going.
don't
Well,
know
I
what
want
to
to see
go
Eddie
to."
Pepitone, but I have a feeling that that'll be the exact moment that
You gotta-
Jesse Case is doing his show. Even though they're at slightly different times, they're both at 10. The shows start at 10:15,
Here's what-
but headliner's Eddie Pepitone, and Jesse Case is not headlining
Let's-
the other. But I don't know
Let's
if
take
the
a digression
smell
here.
and downtown Independent are so close that I could
Abby,
make a run.
Have you
oh,
done?
hey, let me. Whoa.
All right.
Wait, okay, Teddy first, and then I'll.
Go ahead, Teddy.
No, I'm going to say something. So you go ahead first before you go.
If the venues are right next door to each other, they are literally next door to each other. So
Oh,
can you
okay.
run around to different shows? Yes, you can.
Which is a great segue.
Okay, see?
Because I'm saying, have you
It should say this.
You are going to a festival, okay? You got a month and some change to prepare yourself mentally, okay? It's a real rigorous labyrinth, okay? You got to prepare yourself for quick turns. It's like being into like a slalom or some moguls or shit, okay? Quick cuts, you understand? You got to make moves. You got to find lineups. You got to be real covert and shit, son.
Right.
You got, I mean, I'm just saying, you got a real fucking gift.
But also realize that if you leave a venue, your seat will be given up, so you cannot come back to that venue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Can't
And
stand in the back.
and
Going
here's
back.
the other risk that you take: if you go to another venue to see another show, that show might be sold out
Boom.
or at capacity.
You got to
You
commit.
gotta roll the dice.
If you got commitment issues, you better stay away from the festival.
You
You
gotta
understand?
roll the
All
dice.
I'm doing now is looking through, going, who am I going to have to apologize to when it's all
That
over?
makes me happy.
They're gonna be like, "Oh my God, did you see my show at LA Riot?" And I'm gonna go, I would have, but you know, Maria Bamford was throwing down some hot licks, and I'm real sorry,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever, whoever I have to apologize to for whatever. So that's one of the things I was thinking of.
Wait, for real though, how many listeners do we have right now?
8 billion.
We got all the listeners forever.
I want
The entire planet of Earth.
Announcement
You
so
can't.
bad, but I
You
can't.
can't do it.
All right.
Even though it'll
Don't
be
do
on
it.
the internet tomorrow.
It's not. Well, whatever. It'll be on the internet tomorrow. And we'll see. What does that say? Who am I gonna have to?
Who am I apologize to? Who am I apologize
Oh,
to?
yeah,
That's what-
exactly,
that's
yeah. Who do I have to
Any
apologize
other
to?
questions,
we got
Mitch,
plenty.
about
Oh,
what you're gonna?
I still got questions for days. I've been making websites half my life, so I also have some website remarks, but I'll go over those in private.
Okay.
Because
No,
I don't want to.
That's fine.
I know how it is. Like, I don't want to be one of these naysayers. It's like, well, you did this wrong. I don't mean that. I just, it could use a little more organization from a user interface standpoint, but.
Well, there's-
Otherwise, just because I was confused. When I get confused, I get kind of angry because I'm like,
get-
I should be the guy who knows this. You know what I mean? Like, it pisses me off when I have tech questions because
Right.
when everybody else has tech questions, they come to me. So when I have a tech question, I get angry.
You know what I forgot to
You're
See
like
mention?
what I'm
Bruce
saying?
Banner of tech questions.
You know what I
Yeah.
forgot to mention? The VIP Nokia Pass also gets you into Sad People Talking, which if you've never been to is a good show.
What is,
I
what,
forgot
what's-
to
what is
mention
that
that.
show?
Have you ever heard of the Super Series show?
I don't think I've heard of that.
So they're in the festival. The Super Series show is definitely one of the best shows in the city. They just got named as one of the top 10 shows in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing their traditional show, and then they have a sister show called Sad People Talking. So if you buy the VIP Nokia Pass, you can get into that show, and then you can also get into Sad People Talking, which I believe has Kyle Kinane as well. And
Well, it does say
TJ
sad
Miller.
people talking at NOLA. Now, where's that and at what time and what day?
Lineup is not announced yet.
Oh.
It's
See,
on-
you
it's
see,
on
we're
that-
real early, Mitch. We haven't really,
Hey,
we
Mitch.
haven't
I'm
fleshed
gonna,
out
I'm
the
gonna hold
grid
out
yet.
all of my questions then. All right.
It's
There's
not
a lot
announced
of
yet.
confusion.
It's the Wednesday.
You're
It's the
greedy.
Wednesday before the festival, so September 19th.
Oh, okay. So it's like
Same
you can,
week.
You can go see that free and clear, no apologies to anybody.
No apologies whatsoever.
I like that.
I think
like
TJ
that.
Miller's on that lineup too, and then a couple of other people.
Always a fun performance.
Okay.
TJ Miller in the building.
Always a good time.
It's a good time.
He did the TK wedding show.
Did he really?
Yeah, TK wedding pre-show, I should say, like a few days before the.
Is TK from Chicago?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he's from Texas.
Texas.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Tejas.
Tejas.
Did you want to
Tejas.
shout out?
Shout out to Tejas.
Dos done.
There's a lot of
Um,
food trucks. There's a lot of food trucks I'm seeing right there. Is that?
Oh,
is there more to scroll
That's
down?
just some of them. That's not all of them.
see what I'd like to. Here's the thing. Recently with the Olympics, I was.
Where
I
is
know.
This feels
this
like a great
going?
Bob Costas editorial about to be dropped right now.
Bob Costas. Recently, I was doing some reading up on the Olympic stuff because I don't really pay attention to it, blah blah blah. But I was just like,
he's a
the whole
terrorist.
the whole world really was like, oh, watch the people run and jump, and I was like, all right, I need to find out more about these Olympics. So I did some reading.
What era are you from right
Yeah.
now? You're like,
So did some reading,
Rip Van
found
Winkle.
out about this mystical, magical place that I will never, ever, 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 ever get to see, and it made me super depressed. The Olympic Village, when after the events of the day, I was like, holy shit! I wish Could you imagine like the top athletes in the world, thousands, like 10,000 of them, all in free condos after they fucking won medals or lost medals or whatever, and just young, all of them perfect condition. I mean, just Adonises, all of them,
Oh,
just
my God.
right, all in private condos, and no one's allowed in. No press, no family, no friends, just these athletes, just pent up, and they just fuck for like
yes, you're
2
right.
weeks. It's
Yeah.
just a giant orgy.
You
And I was
really-
just
you
like,
just discovered
I
that,
will
did you?
never. Yeah, I know. And I was just sort of sad because I was like,
It's
I'll never see that.
Yeah, well, as well you
So,
should. That'll-
so
ever-
the
Well,
reason I
the
bring
world
this
is at
up,
its
the
end.
reason I bring this up,
and it's
Jesus
coming
Christ.
back
I
around.
don't want to know how.
coming back around.
I don't want to.
Next year, Comedy Village, right in the middle of all the shows, you
Yeah.
have just the hotel that is used, right, and then some place that's just like, this is off, no press, no nothing, unless you're a comedian,
You want a comedian's
or a
village.
comedian said like you personally can come in with to the, and then I could get into that, and then comedy fuckfest, I'd just
Oh.
walk around
So
poking comedians,
A
like that would be.
comedian's
There
village.
is-
Comedians Olympic Village, kind of. Yeah.
there is
Just looking
like,
for a giant comedian orgy is really what it comes down to.
You?
there is like a VIP comedian tent, but like it's
It's a tent. Nobody's fucking in a tent.
it's not a garden. It is
Yeah,
not
I need a garden
village. It's
with an
not
eternal
anything
flame in the
along
middle.
those lines. But you know what? I'll work on that.
Yeah.
I'll see.
You know, I mean, Mitch, you
What
gotta
sort of-
give some breathing room for the festival to get its legs. Yeah, I mean, they didn't start off the fucking Olympics with an Olympic Village that was a fuck fest.
I'm pretty sure that's how the
I
Olympics
don't
started.
think that's how it
Probably
started. No.
Olympics came
When
out
they
of the
had
fuck
tug
village.
of war at the Olympics,
Pretty
in the
sure it was
1900s,
wagging the dog,
There
you
was
know what I'm
no
saying?
village. You understand?
Aren't there like
just
12-year-old
saying.
Olympians?
Well, listen,
Like Gabby, what the hell is her
I
name?
love. I'm not
Douglas.
I'm
getting.
not
She's
just picking
16.
a black
I'm
girl.
I
No,
think-
fair.
Black
I
Betty.
listen. I wasn't gonna say it, but
Not
now that
talking
you've
about it.
introduced it into the air,
talking
it
about any of
deserves-
that. I'm not-
It is deserved reason. Okay, listen.
I'm just
they
telling
don't
you,
all
you can
stay in
read
the
some
village.
stories
You
about
gotta
the
show
fucking
ID.
orgies that take place in the Olympic Village. You imagine, once again, young athletes who barely speak the language of the people around them. Everybody's only speaking their own language. We're talking in
They just
prime
speak the
condition,
language of
right?
lust.
Young and sweaty and full of energy and pep and excited and in a whole new land. And there's no way that the press can see anything that they're doing.
Wouldn't you feel inferior?
No, you would not. There have been. I mean, there have
If
been.
I was in the Olympic
Oh, are you
Village,
talking to him personally?
Oh yeah.
oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
But I'm saying
Me?
I would feel
Yeah.
inferior. Teddy would feel inferior. All of us would
Right,
feel
but
inferior.
that's not my point. That's-
all of us here.
You're missing my point. Yes, me right now,
Not just-
yes, absolutely. But I'm saying is the only way you'd get into the Olympic Village is if you were on the same level. So you wouldn't. You see what I'm saying?
Unless you just snuck in.
That's why I was depressed because
Because you
there's
realized
no
you
way
would
I could get
never
in
get
there
Get there.
Alright.
because
You
I'll
never-
never
you
be
never
able to
get
be young
But
again
if there's
and in that
if there's
shape.
a comedian's village,
Yeah, then
all of a sudden-
obviously your shape doesn't matter. I mean,
Now
at that
you
point,
see.
you can be in any
there's
shape
been
you
a
want.
paradigm shift. you
Yeah,
understand?
yeah. All that matters
get it.
is
I get
charm
it
and
now.
butt slapping.
Okay,
So,
that's
and
fair enough.
I'm pretty good at both of those.
Things to consider
I got
for
some charm.
2013.
Yeah,
when
just-
you go to the board,
I'm just,
present your ideas.
just letting you
How
know.
did we get here?
Mitch, I think it was Mitch's.
You can blame that on
I
me.
was trying to talk about food trucks, to be honest with you.
He was.
I was a little upset, to be honest.
was.
Amongst the food truck collection, Grill 'Em All was not shown. That bums me out.
Is there anything else that bums you out, Mitch? Is there anything else that you're worried about?
Yeah,
Any other
right.
concerns that you have besides the website? We can talk about that
The
later.
loose ability to
Wait,
fornicate.
am I coming off like a naysayer? Like I don't like I'm not into this?
No, I'm just fucking
okay.
with
I'm
you.
just curious. I don't want to be
It's a
one of those
smidgen.
people. I don't
It's a
want to be
smidgen.
one of those
No, no, no,
people.
no,
a little bit there.
Just saying. I don't want to be
You've
like
been poo-pooing a lot.
I don't think so.
poo poo.
I didn't. For what it's worth, I didn't book the food trucks.
Okay. All right.
That
okay.
wasn't my.
All right.
I have minions.
I'm just
that do
saying.
things.
You've got minions now.
2013. I want to see a Grill 'Em All truck there.
Grill 'em all. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll work on
Yeah.
it. Though the bun
Okay.
truck is definitely my idea. That's one of my favorites for
The bun
sure.
truck.
If
You
you've
are just
never-
destroying my camera here.
My
sir.
bad, man.
You want to
My
take it
bad.
easy on the? I
Hey.
mean,
If
My
you've
bad.
never been to the bun truck, it's fantastic.
That's your-
is it like
Heck.
Cinnabon on a truck?
No,
What is
it's
it?
like
Burgers,
it's
I'm
like
guessing.
no, it's
buns. I'm thinking
it's
Cinnabons.
oh my god, what is the
Croissant?
name? Like those Korean
Pastries? I
No,
got
they're like
nothing.
those Korean super white doughy like soft buns with like pork and then steak and all that.
Where
kind
they
of
got to
stuff.
be
Pigs in a
super
blanket.
white, right?
Pigs in a
Huh?
blanket.
Up top, my
That
brother.
guy,
No, not
you
so
missed
much.
It. High five.
I was. It's okay. I was trying to hold it down for my black
There
brothers.
was a
You know.
a
sorry.
big old.
Apparently,
diss.
the revolution was not televised.
Nope.
I apologize.
There was a huge diss.
The revolution was dissed, just thrown
That's
off
my
to the
bad.
side and ignored.
My
It's okay,
bad.
whatever. It's happened. It's fine. Now I can't find the list of the food trucks. I found them before.
Well, there is what is listed is only the pictures that you see. We haven't listed every single food truck that's going to be there.
I think we should. I
I
think we
see.
should point
it's
out
on the lot page. There we go.
we
I
did.
see.
We did get sidetracked though while talking about the lot.
I'm worried that Truck Norris is going to preach to me.
Oh, and like Corridos Sodas is bringing their soda truck, and they're bringing luchadors.
What? Oh,
You guys
yeah,
know
yeah,
what
you're
yeah.
gonna have luchadors there.
Yeah,
Is there gonna
just,
be a
like,
ring and shit?
Fucking with people in the parking lot.
Oh, are
No,
they just
no,
gonna be
there's-
free roaming luchadors?
there's
That's
a
even
free
better.
Free roaming luchadors with
We're
a photo
putting-
booth.
We're
That
putting
is
free
free.
roaming luchadors. That's going on the board.
Wait. She said free roaming, not free rum. And
I know
Okay.
free
Because
rum.
I
I
hear
said
from
free
you,
rum.
I was hearing
Roaming.
free rum, and I was like, now I'm into it.
Free rum and luchadors. Well, this
Yeah.
is the best.
Now, see, that would bring it over the
But
top.
no, however, though, there is free beer, right?
There is free beer.
Which I
So
don't think
next
you
year,
mentioned.
next year, free rum and luchadors is what I want as a
Hopefully.
thing. I want
Hopefully,
luchadors
yeah.
giving me free rum.
It was
That would be. I'm just trying to make it obscene to where it's like you'd need to get an arena to hold it because everybody'd want to go.
Oh, I hope that's. I honestly like. Ideally, what I would love for this to become is something that just spreads to the downtown LA area because It was.
I'd
Never,
like to see it in my neighborhood.
It was
so I could
never-
turn my apartment
it
into the
was-
new Olympic Village.
It was never my goal to get like huge 2,000, 3,000 seat theaters and then just like sell out tickets to. It wasn't. These spaces that the festival is in. The biggest space is 230 seats.
Now, what are the venues that you picked?
The
for this one?
venues are the Downtown Independent Theater. Have either of you been there?
I've not been there. No.
It's
I don't
a
think so,
it's
no.
a state of the art movie theater actually, and it's all brand new. And it's super nice and chic, and that's our main venue. And then
That's your Wimbledon court.
yes, because it's just it's huge and seating. It's great. And then the Smell. Have you guys ever heard of the Smell?
No.
Not
Oh,
until
man.
I
I'll
saw
talk,
it on
I'll
here.
talk about that venue last. And then there's Five Stars Bar, which
Okay.
is a dive bar in every sense of the word, and it's like
The
got-
rare breed in Los Angeles, dive bars.
dive
like that.
bars, yeah. But like it's gonna be really interesting to have comedy shows in there for sure, and like it's gonna be super sweet. And
Is it
then
going to be? Are there going to be other bar patrons in there? Or is it going to be just for the comedy?
It's
venue?
just for the comedy,
Okay.
so you have to have a pass or a ticket to get in. And then the
Oh, see,
Jalisco.
it's sort of like a drinking Olympic Village.
The Jalisco is the fourth venue technically, but there's no scheduled shows there. It's actually an open mic that runs from 5 to midnight on Saturday and Sunday. Anybody can go up. You don't have to have a ticket. You don't have to have a pass. And then the Smell is probably my favorite venue, to be honest, because if you've never been inside of the Smell, it's a nonprofit and it's all ages. There's no alcohol allowed in the Smell, just to let you guys know. But that's why we're giving away free beer from 12 to 6.
So you can just go in with a buzz.
You can go in with a
I
buzz.
can go in with a flask.
It's
And
that's
come
part
in
of
with
the
a flask.
that's part
You
of
can
the festival
absolutely come in
approach.
with a flask. but
Really?
I don't- Yeah, I don't. What
Just
I don't
they
see, I
don't
know.
serve any
They
alcohol.
don't serve any alcohol. They have concessions and stuff like that. But this venue has like graffiti, and like the bathrooms are smothered in like glitter and paint graffiti. It's like the most amazing venue. It's actually more of a music venue than it is. Eric Andre did like
And now I'm
one of his
seeing the
live
addresses:
shows.
251, 245, 247, 267. Okay, all right.
The
all right.
Smell
touche.
is such a alternative venue that the entrance is in the alleyway.
Nice.
The entrance is in the alleyway, and it's just like there's gonna be a lot of
Unlabeled.
homeless people around. But it'll be cool. It'll be fun. The venues they're great. I'm really excited. And next year we already have another venue lined up. So
Were there any
it'll
comics that
expand.
were like, I'm not going to be performing at
There
the
were
Smell,
some comics that
I'll
were
have to
like,
kill
oh, I
myself."
love the Smell, but I can't perform there because the Jalisco is this. The Jalisco is the only gay bar in downtown. It's a Latina bar,
Okay.
and they bump like Spanish discotheque so loud that it ruins the Smell. So I had to basically buy out the Jalisco and like get it for the whole weekend to make sure that they just wouldn't play their music. So that's why I turned it into an open mic space. 'cause
So you had
Very
what?
well.
So to
Kudos on
bravo,
that.
but
Yeah.
to understand
Bravo and all, but fuck all that.
To understand correctly, a grave threat to one of the Riot LA comedy venues was a
Spanish discotheque.
Spanish discotheque.
The only gay Spanish discotheque in downtown.
Gay Spanish discotheque.
It's
Did you
so
specify
loud,
in
it is
downtown?
so
That
loud.
just was master blasting all out
Yeah.
the fucking speaker system.
So is there
I
going to be a
had
lot of
to-
angry
You guys,
Spanish
I had to
gays?
have an
standing
Go
entire,
in,
outside?
no,
like,
listen,
shakedown
they don't
style?
speak a word of English. I had to have an entire contract typed up in Spanish. I had to take down 2 different Spanish interpreters. Like, it was crazy what I had to do to get this venue. I
Were
was
they
like,
in sunglasses?
I just need you to start your music after midnight. And they were like, nope.
Dark
And I was
sunglasses
like,
with
oh my
suits?
God.
Are you?
have your
Are you?
Spanish
I didn't see
interpreters?
your name on any of these. Are you performing?
No, I'm not. I
Too busy?
I stopped performing like last November when the festival first got going. We raised like $10,000 in 10 days, and that's when I was like,
Through the Kickstarter,
this is
right?
gonna be a thing.
Right, I am going to have to do some work now.
Because I was like so shocked by the amount of. I mean, I knew it was a great idea, but like how quickly it caught on was what I was just like, holy shit. And I just have not. I've been like working full time and managing a cafe while I've been doing this. So like I'm still working right now. I work Monday through Friday, and I do this, and it's like I'm like exhausted all the time. But the cafe is closing at the end of the month, so
Just
I
in
got very
time.
lucky. I got very, very lucky. But it is just me. Yeah, it's just me, and then I have
Scant
some
minions.
people helping me out a little bit. We have like 30 volunteers that we pulled from like Meltdown and Super Serious Show and a lot of things like that. I know
So
a lot of
executive producer, creator, CEO, if you will,
yeah. See,
founder,
if you will.
founder.
Yeah, right. You would have
You
the
see,
greatest business card of all time.
2014, 2015, you'll be known as founder. you see.
Founder.
First
How
year,
does
it's
that-
like whatever.
Whatever.
Anybody can founder the first year.
You get 2 years under your belt.
That's what
you
they'll
can
say.
founder.
Yeah. See.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm
In
looking forward to it.
2030
if I'm alive by then,
In
this has been, like, the
2030,
most
there'll be a
stress.
statue
Yeah.
in the middle of Comedy Fuck Village, where they'll be like founder Abbey Londer in the middle of the Comedy Fuck
In
Village.
the comedy
Daddy.
fuck village. God, I gotta get a fuck village.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that was integral to the festival. You didn't know.
Now you know.
Now your whole hinge is
Thank
blown up the
you,
door.
Mitch.
Yeah. Well, look, that's what
for
I'm
that
here for.
idea.
I'm just telling you,
Thank you.
if any of the comedians that are going to be performing at the Riot were listening, they're going to go, holy shit, Mitch is onto something. We do need a comedy fuck
I would
village."
really like it if that became a theme of discussion throughout the festival. Like you just walked around, you're hanging around the lot, and you're like, you know, I heard about some guy talking about a village where everybody just had a lot of fornication. Like, it's,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? Like we should
Next year, I'll
There's-
run the fuck village, and you can run the festival.
Occupy Riot will pitch the.
No. We'll work out a partnership. You run the whole show, and I'll run the fuck village.
What shows are you guys excited for? Out of curiosity, Are you
Maria
most-
Bamford,
you're most excited for Maria.
Eddie Pepitone, always
Did
a
you
good
guys
time.
see that he's doing his screening of the Bitter Buddha?
Yeah, I did.
I
Have
did.
you
I
guys seen
saw-
the
I
Bitter
haven't-
Buddha
I
yet?
haven't seen that.
I have
no.
not.
Oh, you gotta
That's the thing is, I'm not
go.
real sure yet if I'd prefer to go to a screening or like wait and buy the DVD. Probably I would.
The first
But
time.
it
Well,
depends
Eddie will
because
be
it's
there.
screening.
I don't know if, and then Eddie and then a panel of pretty awesome people will be there.
Well, it's screening at 10:15. At 9 and 10. Well, let's see. 9 o'clock is Matt Brunger's on everything in here, huh?
Also, let it be known that like I booked like 6 or 5 of the shows at Riot LA. I booked 6 out of the 30 let that be known,
Wow.
because a lot
So
of people
who-
have
who
like given
booked
me
the
some
rest?
shit. If you look at my lineup, it's all branded shows. It's set list. It's
Bringing
super
in- bringing
serious.
in
Oh,
They
I
book
see.
their
other-
own
right.
people. Obviously, those are great shows.
Kind-
They're not going to book bad
but giving
people.
the platform for shows to then
Right.
bring on their own people.
Because
so
some
it's-
people are like,
Ooh, looking forward to 5 p.m. Bobcat Goldthwait risk
oh,
True
I
Tales
know,
boldly
right?
told.
Hello.
I'm into
It's
that,
gonna be
which is
great.
Maria Bamford again.
I know.
Bobcat Goldthwait, Steve Agee. I could go down with that.
Let me bring it. You've
I
got
think
Team
I'll have
Coco
to miss.
with Lori
Team
Kilmartin.
Coco, yeah, and
uh,
Brian Kiley is
yeah.
going to be there, and Brian
And-
Kiley is great.
Now,
Yeah.
Team Coco Live still don't really know what that is. I've heard about it a few times.
It's just the writers from Conan,
yeah, just
basically.
performing
But
basically, right?
but
But I
Brian
think
Kiley
I'd
doesn't
probably
get out.
go to the 8 p.m. I think I'd go to see Todd Glass instead. 'Cause I haven't seen
Oh,
him in a
Mr.
long
Glass.
time.
Yeah.
Love me some Todd Glass.
Mhm.
Love to get him
Yeah.
on this
I'm
show.
super excited. One
Put
of the
a
best
word
shows
in.
I saw at Bridgetown in Portland was Conspiracy Theory. What James? You guys like James Adomian? Are you familiar with James
I'm not
Adomian?
familiar.
This show is fucking crazy. That show and competitive erotic fan fiction.
Oh,
are
that's the one
two-
Jesse Ventura thing.
Yeah, and I think they're at
Does
the
he
same
talk
time.
like? Does he
saw
talk
that
like
one,
Jesse?
yeah.
He
the
does
whole
talk like Jesse Ventura.
I've heard
It
him
is
on.
hilarious.
For a second, I was like,
But he
what
does
was
it live, and he has like people that he brings on the show. It's like
I'm
it's
trying to remember
outstanding.
the fucking.
Oh, and Gelmania. Have
it
you-
was
oh.
on. It used to be called. Oh shit! They keep Comedy Bang Bang. It used to be called Comedy Death Ray.
Oh, Comedy Death
Yeah.
Ray. Yeah.
Adomian's been on that as Jesse Ventura like
Mm-hmm.
many times. That's what I've heard of before. That's what it was. Okay, all right. So
Um,
what's he do live then? What's his? He just.
He does. He basically does Jesse Ventura, the same character, but he does it live and for a whole show, and he has other people that he brings on as characters. He did it in Bridgetown, and it was seriously like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Gelmania with Brett Gelman was one of the funniest things that it was in Bridgetown as well, and of course Matt Bresser, Improv for Humans, is really great too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Like me some Matt Besser, big fan.
Eric
Patton
Andre's show.
Oswalt and
I'm
Friends
excited.
playing Capatch.
I'm still
Eddie
like
Pepitone
I'm
again.
just now kind of catching up with Eric Andre. You know, like
Yeah.
I heard more about him than I ever got to see.
Have you
now.
guys seen a show on Adult Swim?
I haven't seen the
It's
show on
fucking
Adult. I've seen like
crazy.
clips of things, but I've never
Yeah.
sat down and seen an entire episode. So I am intrigued to see the entire live experience because I've heard things. I've heard a lot of things.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. I have to see where the. I
So
mean, I'll
many-
go. I'll be going. Don't worry about that. I'm down.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you so much.
In case this was
I'm
like coming
so
off.
happy to hear this.
Hey,
I didn't know if you were thinking that I was like
one
that I was.
pass officially on the show.
No, I mean like I didn't know if you were thinking that I was going through like I don't know. I don't know which ones
Yeah.
I'll go to because
You
the
always
other
make it
2
worse for
days
yourself,
haven't yet
Mitch.
filled out. That's
Yeah,
all.
I get
Just
it.
pointing
I
that
get
out.
it. I
Okay.
get it. I get it. I get it.
Always making it worse
I
for
get it.
yourself.
I get it. I get it.
I won't probably be buying a VIP pass because I don't really want to walk down the street to Club Nokia. That's just me. That's just me.
You don't want to walk down
I
the
don't
street?
really want to do that. No.
What if
I mean,
there was
the
a-
Club
what if there
Nokia
was-
is all
What
right.
if there was
I
a
don't-
golf cart that could take you to Club Nokia?
Is there a fuck village?
Well, I would assume that anybody that went to the Club Nokia show, if they didn't walk, would drive.
Yeah.
I would assume. And,
And I'm going to be,
Pretty.
pretty drunk.
take the metro,
so-
everyone. Don't drink and
That's what I'm
drive.
saying.
Take the
Just
metro.
make sure
But I
your
can't take the
stops
metro
leave
to
you in a
Club
welded
Nokia.
area.
I don't know. Can you? I've
You
never.
could.
No.
No.
You can.
I've been to Club Nokia a
Don't
few
you
times.
do it.
can.
You do. I'm
No, I
taking
mean,
the metro
from this
everywhere.
place
Where there's
to
a
Everywhere.
will, there's
You
a
can
way.
take it everywhere. Just if you can't
Where
take the
there's a
metro
line, there's
somewhere,
a bus.
it's only because you don't have enough quarters. All right, that's the only thing stopping you.
What am I going to bounce off people's asses if not quarters?
Fair enough. That is one way to look at it.
mean-
Okay.
You guys have an interesting relationship.
Do we?
Yeah.
Is that what's episode 75? That is the landmark.
That's the first
for-
time somebody's
Okay.
ever said that about me and another
How many?
man.
But honestly, how many women do you have on here? Probably not that many.
We
obviously.
have a fair bit.
I'm a few octaves while I answer this question. Let's see. We've had more black people than we've had women. I
Yeah.
figured that out the other day.
Okay, that's good.
Congrats.
Well, to be fair, we also had a whole month of just black guests, specifically in
Oh,
February. You know,
okay.
Black
It was
History
Black
Month.
Uary, Black
Black
Ribbon.
Uary, Black Ribbon. You see, we don't have like
that
a
was-
woman's month.
that
We
was the
need
thing.
something like that.
Yeah.
Sassy September.
Yeah,
Well,
guys.
I can't.
Get on the
Susie's-
feminist train.
Well, we
Seriously.
you know we always are looking to have sassy women on here. I guess as
Do
you
they
just
have
said.
to be
I-
sassy?
no, they
Why
don't have
can't
to
they
be
just
sassy.
be women?
No,
Really?
that's why I was trying to impugn Mitch's character.
don't
If you
know.
gave me a second to work it all the way through, Abby, damn, I'm trying to bring the flank together.
Okay.
We brought you on here.
I'm just saying.
We could do March and be like Mrs. March month.
We should, well, Abby,
March
what's
month
a good?
of
I'm
Mrs.
sorry I brought this up.
Yeah. We
No, it's
we need
fine.
a good we need a good theme that is similar to Black UA Black Riffin.
Again, do you have to have a theme?
Yes,
Can you
Abby,
just
don't
have
just
women
say
Yeah.
on
No,
the
we
show?
can't just.
Well,
have,
we can have
What
women
a
on, but
mo-
if we
what a
We have
give
to
them a
make
month,
a reason. We have to
No.
have a label.
we have
Not
a month.
reason. It's
we're gonna give them
it's
a whole
month.
month. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a
It's
theme.
month of a theme. Like
'Cause somebody
sweep.
might go-
Abby, have you never heard of sweeps? Have you never heard of sweeps?
No, I've
Do
heard
you
of
not know
scoops.
how this works?
I've heard of scoops.
Damn it. Good. Ben.
Let's see how many. I'm trying to go through my head and calculate that. I don't know.
It's all right.
I'd have to search the. I'd have to search the website for she, and then maybe that would come up. Like she said this, or she was a great guest, or so on and so forth.
There's not like a special cat hour or anything on this podcast, is there? Where you bring your cat and then we talk about your cat, or we pet your cat, or anything like that.
That's just when you're on.
I was just wondering.
We can do that.
Teddy.
Mitch has a really cute cat, everybody. It's
Yeah.
huge. I
Thank
don't know
you.
if anybody knows that, but
Thank you.
I thought maybe
I
you'd like
haven't-
to address it. You're
It's been a while
welcome.
since Bushka's
Believe me,
gotten a shout out on the
I've,
podcast. Shout out to Bushka.
I have addressed it. If early on in the thing before Teddy, because Bushka would hide. He's afraid of black people, so he would hide when Teddy came over, and Teddy was probably on like when he finally became like he slowly became a co-host because he was our first guest. I had a different co-host at the time. He slowly became the co-host. I think it was about his 5th or 6th episode was the first time he saw Bushka, and Bushka just jumped up on my table thing
We're on the couch. at
and
the time.
scared the living shit out of Teddy. He's like, "What the damn?" You know.
Which probably didn't help.
Yeah.
'Cause she's afraid of.
Yeah. yeah.
He.
Sorry.
No.
He.
Hey.
He.
Yes.
Bushka.
To answer the point, no, it did not help race relations at all. It did not help feline Afro-American relations
Right.
in any sense of the word.
Okay.
No.
Occasionally, in the last 2-3 weeks, Bushka's hopped up on the table and kind of crawled over to Teddy, very like, "All right, well, I'm gonna give you another shot," and it's gone pretty well, I think,
Yeah.
so far. But generally speaking, once we're doing the show, he fucks off.
Oh, segue, not at all. Somebody bought tickets for Riot from London. They
Really?
bought plane fare from London, and I was like, "What?
Fingers
That's
crossed,
pretty
it's a
It's
female
the
that likes
first
dudes like
year.
me.
It's the first year."
I was
That
gonna,
is an investment.
No, but that's what
I
you
was
want to
gonna
do.
ask, like,
You
about
want to
your
be you want to be
Kickstarter.
on the first.
I remember. So when you had the Kickstarter set up, I haven't done too many Kickstarters. I'm
Yeah.
like I'm not.
What do you mean
super
haven't?
familiar.
Oh, you mean like supported?
Support?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
don't,
you
I
meant
don't go
like.
around like funding a lot of shit. You know what
Got
I mean?
it. Got it.
Yeah. So consider yourself. But also, I remember like the
I do a lot of
tiers.
Hotwire, not so much
You
Kickstarter.
had like the tiers of support. You're like, oh, you do this
Yeah.
contribution, you get this, that, or whatever. I was like, that was. Did you find that you were getting a lot of like the levels of support that you were getting from people? Were you surprised, kind of, as it came in?
Yeah, I was surprised that so many people donated $25 right off. I thought people were gonna be like, "I'll donate $2 to this," but like we had a lot of people donate 25. We had a lot of people donate 100. It was kind of crazy, and so many comedians that also helped too, which. I seriously can't thank the people that donated enough. It's really hard for me to.
Do they get anything special, like a
You're
chalice?
damn right we
or
did.
You guys,
Got
well, you
some
got
buttons
you
and
got
shit,
some buttons,
some
and
stickers.
postcards, and you
Yeah.
got T-shirts. And
Did you sign each one of them? Like, thanks.
Well, there was like
little
a
heart.
super cool
Abby.
autograph poster, but I did handwrite every single postcard that I sent out, which was cool.
Well, there you go. See, that's gonna be worth some shit.
But
When you the founder and you have the statue, you're like, see this postcard? First year I was there.
in the sex cabin, whatever it was.
Well, now you've gone ahead and gussied it up a little
Listen,
bit.
With
it's
a
the comedy
cabin.
fuck
You've given
village.
it a little
Sorry,
bit of
put my own
Abraham
spin on it, guys.
You've given a bit
Alright.
of rustic
Apparently,
appeal
that's
now.
my subconscious.
Although to be fair,
Wants
It's
a
not
cabin.
a village; it's a cabin.
as these
Cabin.
things go,
Getaway
as it gets more
cabin.
popular, you're gonna need a sex cabin for the elite.
I like how this has evolved.
I'm just saying.
I can't wait to see where
Abby,
else
it
goes.
reflects our investment in your endeavor.
I
I'm
got
just
it.
saying, if Seinfeld comes through, he's not gonna jump into the comedy fuck village. He's gonna want the sex cabin.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Deluxe. No, I get
Yeah,
it.
like the deluxe.
Ray
sex
Romano
cabin,
will be
yeah.
satisfied with the village, I think.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
was
Somebody's
gonna-
gonna be like, okay, but where is the booty licking penthouse?
That's Tracy Morgan.
There you go. All right.
Penthouse.
Excuse
Still
me.
Don't like it as much as a cabin.
What's that?
Nothing.
You don't like penthouses
I,
as much as cabins?
Yeah, that's
You're
what I
more
said.
of
No,
a
but I
camping
think-
person.
I'm more of a cabin person,
All
I
right,
guess.
that's
I was
fair.
like, if someone was like, "Do you want to go to my penthouse?" or if someone was like, "Do you want to go to my cabin?" I would probably say cabin. I would also be more likely to die.
That's
I
what I'm
thi- I
saying. At
feel
the
like
cabin,
You
you'd
like that.
probably die in
cabin
the
and
cabin.
penthouse.
You like that? You like
I mean,
that
it depends
rugged
on
appeal,
the
though.
person, I suppose. If somebody's like,
But
I've got
I'm
a
also from
cabin.
Michigan. I grew up in the woods, all that kind of stuff.
All right, all right.
You're more
all
comfortable then.
Yeah.
Rugged. You got that rugged individualism thing.
All
going
right.
on.
Rugged
Okay.
individualism.
Yeah, you like it. That's good.
Get 'em
America.
throwing all the-
Back on the Kickstarter though.
Yeah. So your support coming in.
Well, I feel. I mean, I'm not always gonna feel bad because so many people did support. So many people that did support were comedians, and the fact of the matter is, like, I have 3 venues. There are 200 seats, and I only have 30 shows, and I only booked 6 of them. You know what I mean? So I hope that the people that did donate to this, that are comedians, realize that, like, this is the first year and it's a platform and I want to build something for them, you know what I mean, over the years. But, like, this year there's only so much that I could do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
think-
I can't put
Yeah.
I can't invite everybody to my wedding. You know what I mean? Like, so to speak.
Well,
But
I
at
feel-
least you're not only getting married once in this analogy.
Right, exactly.
I am going to be very much a Jezebel. I'm going to be marrying up every year.
Every year.
All the suitors will come to the court. Will be like the Odyssey. But no, I think, like, speaking as one, I feel like one of those comics that you're kind of talking about, where like you mentioned earlier in the show, you know, when you first started doing shows out here, like I was living right up the street from where you were doing your shows.
You don't live there anymore?
I'm still actually very close by. So
Okay.
I am actually closer to Genghis than I was now than in the past. But I remember just you know, we it was a fun show. First of all, when I wasn't wasn't on the bill or whatever, it was a good lineup.
Where did you do this? The Palms or something?
No, Genghis Cohen. It was this little Chinese restaurant. This little Jewish.
Oh, that was the name of it?
Yeah, Genghis Cohen. Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
thought
the
that was the name of the show.
You thought that was a
did.
joke? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
the
Sweet
show
and
was
Sour
called Sweet
Comedy.
and Sour Comedy, and that was where I first started producing
Okay.
shows. And it was like if you've never been there, it's like this little tiny room. It's got pews. I'm not kidding
It's
you.
amazing.
In a restaurant.
It's a really it's a
So
strangely
it's like
intimate
very-
thing.
It's like
very-
the Ding Ho in Boston.
It's like they literally took out, like they found an abandoned church and they're like, bring the pews, we're gonna put it in a fucking back room.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna.
It was
It
really
used to be like a
bizarre.
second kitchen maybe, and they're like, no, we're gonna turn it into performance space.
One of the third shows I think I did. I don't think you ever made it to. Was called Neighbors, and this was.
I never made it out to Neighbors.
Neighbors was great. It's such a shame that it got shut down. But this is what I did right before I started Riot, and it was like there's a vintage clothing store in Echo Park on the borderline of downtown, literally like throwing stones from my apartment, and they have this outdoor patio that they didn't use. So we built a stage, we dropped like a white backdrop. We had like professional lighting and all that kind of stuff, and then we put these little like wooden benches and a fire pit. And it was like you were camping, listening to comedy. I gave s'mores away. We gave beer away.
That's awesome.
It was such a good show.
Right, but I mean, I think that's the thing though, where it's not surprising that you kind of end up putting together something like Riot, and that's why I feel like, as someone who's kind of seen you producing shows and the evolution of you producing shows, it's a totally worthwhile endeavor to support, because you go from doing something like Genghis, where you're bringing in a lot of different kind of talent, and then you do kind of the one-off thing downtown, which was in a way, looking back, it is kind of a mini version of Riot in some senses, because it was this awesome warehouse, and there was a lower level to it, so you had to walk down to the stage.
It was a loading dock.
Yeah.
So the truck where it would normally pull in,
right.
it was that lower level, and then the rest of the floor was like 10 foot up maybe.
Right. So you have the loading dock.
The show was called the loading dock.
Right, yeah. So you have like the actual performance, actual comics are performing at the loading dock, and then above that, before the comedy show, and then after the show, you had a bunch of artists there.
I had like art for sale and like.
Which I still have.
Did you buy some of that graffiti?
Yeah,
There was an amazing artist called Brian McFadden. He lives in New York now, but
I have a shirt from there too. I have one of my favorite shirts. You've seen that shirt where it says "Never buy drugs from a penguin."
Yeah.
Have you seen that shirt? I bought that at that show, and
That's Adam Sikorsky. He's
Yeah.
outside of Colorado. He was in town. He was friends with Brian. He's like, "You mind if I bring some shirts down?" And I was like, "Sure."
And
And
I
then
tried
we had
to
a
buy
photo booth, the ping
yeah.
pong table.
I tried to
and-
buy a shirt size that fit, and I didn't have enough cash, and so like I had to go to the ATM. And then by the time I got back, because I was the first person at the table, and I was like, "This is the best shirt I've ever seen in my life. Just save me one that fits." He's like, "Cool." And then I went to get cash, and by the time I got back, he's like, "They're all gone." I was like, "Well, just give me the fucking large." And it's still like to this day, my girlfriend's always like, "It's so big," and I'm like, "It's awesome. It's a great shirt. I will never get rid of
Oh man.
it." But
You
it's
don't know how to shrink shirts. And
don't worry
They
about
all
it.
got gobbled up that fast.
It was
Holy
fucking
moly.
like it was so. I mean, it was such a fucking great shirt. This penguin smoking a joint. Says
Yeah.
"Never buy drugs for a penguin." It's a really good shirt.
Eddie
but-
Pepitone was on that show too.
Yeah, that's the first
and
time
Eddie
that I ever
Pepitone was
saw
like,
Eddie live.
Where's the Walmart? Where is the Bed Bath and Beyond? not. He was screaming about like the location and where it was at, but like Eddie.
But it was, I mean, it was this really eclectic mix of things. There's a bunch of different artists and things, and then there was this photo booth in the back, and then there was a keg, and then there was wine, and there was beer happening and stuff. So it was like it was the same sort of atmosphere of a festival, just contained to a few hours.
Yeah.
So when you announced Riot, I was like, oh, it's like the warehouse, like it's a warehouse thing, just kind of blowing up and stuff. So I feel like
hopefully not as dangerous.
right, yeah. Well, I mean, there'd be streetlights and shit, so this time it's cool. But like, I feel like it's one of those things where you feel like you would be an asshole not to contribute to something like that, you know? Because I feel like I've seen the kind of shows that you've put on, and it's like if you get a chance to put a show on and a festival on downtown, then why wouldn't you support someone who's gonna put on a quality
I hope
product?
that's the way that people look at it. I hope that, like, at the bottom of everything, if you're bummed that you didn't make it, if you're bummed that you donated and you're not in it, if you're like, realize that, like, you originally backed the project because you like comedy. You're in comedy because you're doing comedy. You like comedy. You like performing it. You like watching it. You like supporting it. And I feel like you supported this idea. Realize that, like, this is something that is for you, and it's gonna grow over years and yada yada yada. But just be happy that there's a platform like this now. You know what I mean?
Right,
Instead
right.
of
Of course.
Well, I think this is one of those things too that Mitch and I
Better here at home than way over in Canada.
yeah,
Right.
you know.
And this is kind of what Mitch and I were talking about before the show today, but just the idea of alternative comedy now versus kind of what it was in the past, and the mix of comics that are on the show and who have shows and stuff, where it's that sense of, for a lot of people, it's like they're like, well, what are you the alternative to, you know? And I think it's that sense of like, there's a lot of dynamics going on with the festival where it's like, not only are you bringing together a lot of different kind of comics or whatever, or bringing together a lot of different shows, or trying to bring together a lot of different approaches and put together I don't know what just happened there. That was weird. But like trying to put together a comedy showcase that has different kind of venues and such together. But it was also the sense of like kind of you were saying, the mentality of, well, like, why do I need to go out and support a comedy festival in LA where I can go to a show anytime? And there is that entitlement mentality in LA where it's like, just because there's a lot of talent around doesn't mean you're seeing that talent in the circumstances you should be seeing it in, where you can best appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's like, a lot of people were kind of like, oh, alternative comedy, okay, cool, like, because I feel like the word alternative comedy, when you put those two words together, I feel like it's a bad rap. Because people automatically associate it with a certain sort of crew, perhaps. But I didn't.
And much of that crew is on there. It's not
much of that crew is on there. But also the reason why I chose the word alternative is specifically because of what you just said. Alternative means different. This is different. It's all in one block. It's a festival. It's 3 days. It's different. It's a different kind of festival. So it is essentially an alternative place or thing to see comedy, as opposed to going to the Improv.
So you're saying it's not an alternative comedy festival; it's an alternative comedy festival.
It's a bit of both. You know what I mean? Okay. You can look at the comedians that are. I mean, it is. I mean, but I feel like people were kind of like, initially when it started, they were kind of like, oh, whatever.
When you first kind of rolled out the Kickstarter and the idea was out there.
Yeah, people maybe were a little hesitant, but then they watched the video and they were like, oh, okay. But I think
because you brought in a lot of comics to help kick off the idea at first, right?
Yeah, that was crazy.
What was the video that happened that you?
I wrote and directed that video. I got very lucky. Funny or Die gave me their space to shoot it in, so it was very easy, or easier, not very easy, for me to say to a comedian, "Come down to Funny or Die and shoot a video," as opposed to "Come to my apartment in Echo Park."
Welcome to our life every Monday.
I got super lucky, and so it was just kind of, it was like, from working at Genghis and like producing shows like that, I had established relationships with a lot of the comedians that are in Riot right now. So once I started to get some of those names on board, it wasn't until we got like huge names like Odenkirk and Megan Mullally and like Thomas Lennon where I was like, holy shit. And then it just totally snowballed.
None of those are listed on here.
No.
No, this is a promotional video.
Promotional
video.
Have you not even watched the video, Mitch? It's on the homepage.
I didn't watch the video. I gotta be honest.
You bastard.
My thought was,
and you
I'm not gonna
the audacity to talk about food trucks.
Yes, because I was like, I'm not gonna pause my music to watch a promo for something I'm already gonna buy.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll allow you, the committed
See what I'm
consumer, to
saying?
get a pass on
But
this one, Mitch.
I am gonna think, what will there be to eat while I'm there?
that
And then I see all these food
get.
trucks. I was like, yes, I like what you've done here.
You're a
Mhm.
practical man. We get
Okay.
it. We get it. All right.
And then I was like, oh, you're missing the one with the girls that wear the pink bikinis, which is that's fine because bikinis are ugly.
That's good.
But grill them all. I mean, you know, I was really excited for that. But no, there's no grill them all. It's all right. I'm sure these are great food trucks as well.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I
But,
actually don't have the list. I can't even remember what other food trucks
So
will be
it's
there.
quite all right.
I feel like by like
No,
I'm not a
no,
food
no,
6
it's
hours
not
from
all
now,
right.
6
It's
hours from
not
now,
all
the
right.
food truck list is just
I
gonna
will
be
say
fucking
Honestly,
thorough.
the
I'm not a
Sprinkles
food-
Cupcakes food truck
Oh,
will be there.
shit.
Hello.
Sprinkles
You're not a
Cupcakes.
cupcakes guy?
You know, you can count me right out of that
Have
one.
you
I'm not like a food snob. I'm not like a
Some
food
baller-ass
person.
cupcakes at
I
TK's
pretty
wedding.
much pick food trucks by either their gimmick or their title. And Grill 'Em All plays.
You are a superficial
plays-
food truck consumer.
Grill
You
'Em
know what I
All
had the other
plays
day?
80s metal, and it's spelled like, you know, Kill 'Em All, like the Metallica Kill 'Em All album. So it
Yeah.
looks like the front cover of Kill 'Em All, but it's called Grill 'Em All, and they just play metal, and they have, you know, burgers and shit, which is like, all right, meat and metal. I mean,
Is there anything you want to say about the food? How is the food? Is it good?
I don't know, it's burgers and shit. I mean, it's
Right,
all right.
No,
it's
listen,
pretty decent.
Abby, you're wasting your time focusing on the quality argument. You're just
I don't
saying,
really care
it's
about
real
that. Whatever,
surface
it's
level
food.
right now. They're playing fucking Megadeth.
All right.
Okay, and there's grilling happening.
Yeah, if
I'm
you,
in.
I was when I walked up there playing
Oh,
on Justice for All, which is like, listen, you won,
There you go.
you win. Play on Justice for
Very
All,
special
I'll eat whatever.
announcement.
Wait.
My father is coming to Riot.
Hey.
Teddy
all
knows
right.
a little bit about my dad. But he's,
yeah, I've
crazy
Father
man.
Launder.
Well,
Yeah, my dad like
He's featured in one of Abby's one of her best bits. She does a great impression of her dad. That is.
yeah, my dad like
Is he a character?
He's 72 now, and he like, man, he owed the government like $271,000, and then fucking like. But before he got caught, he sold everything that he owned, got a PO box, and then tried to go down to Guatemala, and then like called me in my freshman year of high school and was like, you're never gonna see me again. And then he came back, and but like,
Abby's dad is kind of like the
he's
episode.
totally crazy. He's the episode of what?
I was gonna say like the episode of The Office where Jim has a roommate who doesn't believe that Dwight exists until he shows up and he's like, "Oh, you are real." I feel like that is kind
Yeah.
of the same dynamic that was.
He's totally a whack job. I mean, he's. I asked him the other day how he did shady business for a long time too, and like I was like, Dad, how many cars have you owned in your lifetime? And he's 72, and he said, I don't know, probably over 50. Over 50, like it was nothing.
Right.
And I'm just like, what? And he's 72, and he's like, I got a wave runner today, and I'm like, you're 72. Like, why? He's
Oh,
like,
yeah, like
gotta
a
hear
jet
this
ski?
deal. Yeah, I gotta hear this
Is he
deal.
riding it?
No.
Not for nothing,
He,
but
but
like that
what he
doesn't
does
sound
is
that
he
high.
buys, sells, buys, sells, buys,
I've
sells, buys,
owned
sells.
20, and I'm only 30,
Are you gonna?
In my
What?
30s.
You own 20 cars?
maybe 15. Let me think. I don't know. I lost track. I'm about to get another one next week, so I'm trading in the one I have now. I just got it clean today.
Are
so
you
I
a
could do
car
that.
freak?
No, I'm becoming
You
one.
do have a
I am
weird car
becoming one.
thing though,
I'm
so you don't
becoming
act
one.
like you haven't. What did you tell
I'm
me the other
becoming
day
one.
that you wanted about cars?
I said I'm
Tell me,
becoming one.
tell me what you said
Tell
about cars
us.
the other day.
Tell
You're like, I
us.
just want to drive cars
wanna
and then like
know.
get, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
so don't
look.
act like you're a normal fucking car person.
No, I didn't say that. I was
Okay,
just
good
saying.
then.
I said I'm
Good
becoming more of a car freak. I'm not. Look, yes, certainly as
It's
a
like
child.
Spider-Man
Wait.
saying,
As a
I'm-
child, there's certain cars that you go like one day. That's what I want. One of these days, I want that car,
Right.
and that's remain in my brain. But I think that's normal. But yes, I did. Yes, I did specify the other day.
What'd you say?
That see, the thing is, when fixing your credit, it's a good idea to like get a loan on something and then refinance it every
Right.
6 months or so,
Right.
because that's how often usually the credit bureaus take to fucking update their records and shit. So the thing is, if I'm gonna refinance, which is pretty silly, because you're saving over the, when you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of like 4 years, you're talking like $20 a month, and I'm like, I don't really care about $20. So if I'm gonna refi, if I'm gonna have them go and do a whole new loan, I may as well drive something different. So this way, I get a little fun while I'm fixing my credit. So every 6 months, I'm just gonna get a different
Every
car.
6 months, you get a different car.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that shit silly?
That shit.
Hey, it's sure. You know what I used
It's
to
a
do?
little silly.
What I used to do was
I
buy.
don't get it.
Wait, what I used to
Wait.
do instead of go to the DMV is I would just go buy a new car instead. That's what I did for about 6 years. So that was a lot more fun.
You see how
I
pained
skipped-
Abby's
I
face is
skipped
right
the
now?
DMV.
She is like she's like mentally
Now, mind you,
constipated right now.
mind you,
trying
this
to
doesn't.
process
I'm not
what's
saying
happening.
like money bags or nothing like this. I'm just saying that you usually, if you go to a dealership, they'll give you crazy deals. They're trying to get rid of certain
I'm
cars
just a
and
man
stuff
that
like
love Hot
this.
Wheels.
So if you've got good credit, and at the time I did have good credit, you can usually basically pay the exact same amount, and then every 2 years just get a brand new whatever you're driving for that same price. Generally speaking, because
I know,
they're like, they'll
I-
give you incentives and all this
Yeah,
other
no,
shit.
I
They want
hear-
to
I
get. You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear
Yeah,
what you're
we
saying.
get it, but
okay.
we get it. But on
It
this
just
side of the table,
seems- to me, and I know this seems maybe
Go ahead,
maybe
no.
you don't
Go
relate,
ahead,
but
it's
to me
okay.
that's like I'm gonna move into a new apartment every 6 months.
I do that. I do that as well. I've moved. I've moved on average
Do you
every
have a girl-
1.5
Do you have a
years.
girlfriend? I don't.
No.
You don't have a girlfriend? Have you ever had a girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've
well,
definitely had
how
girlfriends.
many? Like, what's the longest relationship you've ever had?
3.5.
3.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, that surprised me. I thought every 6 months you were gonna be like getting a new girlfriend. I was just
Usually
wondering
that's the way I like to roll.
what kind
But
of
you know,
commitment
I'm just
we're
saying-
talking
it was
about
very
here.
pleasant, you were very pleasantly
the
surprised
last
by that. You could
the
see
last
that.
5 apartments I've lived in where I didn't go, okay, I'm moving in 6 months or I'm moving in a year or whatever. It just so happened, like
Don't
I
even
moved,
worry about the fucking drapes.
I
I'm gone.
moved back
and-
to this neighborhood across the street, and I was like, I love this apartment. This is nice hardwood floors all the way throughout. I was like, it's pretty awesome. It was really cheap. Love this block. Love this neighborhood. The neighbors were cool. It was a small complex. Everybody knew everybody. I was like, this is awesome. Then some crackheads lit the basement on fire, and it torched my kitchen. So I had to move. I had no choice. I had to move.
Wait, I thought you said some crackheads.
Torched, like there was like a storage basement under the building.
No,
They-
I hear what you're
and
saying, but didn't you
they
say this was the
torched it.
perfect apartment and there were crackheads living below you? What
I
neighborhood
didn't know
is
that.
this?
They weren't living there. This was in the middle of December. They squatted in the storage
okay,
shelter, and
okay,
I guess,
okay,
I don't know.
okay.
I have no idea what they did.
I need to know where this
Yeah.
apartment was.
Across the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
lived across
Yeah,
the street, and
yeah.
you just moved across.
And
the
I
street.
actually used to live in
because
this.
there won't
okay.
be any crackheads in
Here's
this.
Here's the quick story. I lived here in this complex. In fact, one apartment up and one apartment over for like 3.5 years. Back in, I moved in like 2008, right?
Yeah.
Then got a girlfriend and was with her for a while, and then she was like, "Listen, I'm driving." She was living way out in like Murrieta. She's like, "I'm driving to Hollywood all the time to like." She got a job out here just to sort of have an excuse to be around, I guess. So I was like, "Okay, we'll all go get a place," because I had a roommate at the time. So we went and found a 3-bedroom in West LA. Obviously, relationship didn't go so well. So a year later, I was like, I'm gonna live on my own. I've never done that. I'm gonna do that. And then I found that apartment I was just telling you about that lit on fire. And
by the crackheads.
so, yes, exactly.
By the way, I am adding. Wait, I thought you said some crackheads to the board.
Okay. So then I moved next door. I moved to the building next door because I just was like, I need another apartment. I walked over and I was like, do you have any vacancies? They were like, this one. I said, I'll take it. And, you know, I mean, that was that. And they were like, but this building just got sold. They're going to renovate. You're fine for now. Don't even bother with a lease. It doesn't matter, et cetera, et cetera. Sure enough, year and a half later, they renovate. So I came back here. See? So it's not like a commitment thing. It just so happens. Now,
Yeah.
cars, yes. Cars, it's nice to get a new one. You know. I
Okay,
like
but
to,
see, you took
I like
a
to
real
cruise around.
refinance cost-benefit analysis approach to your
That's
strategy,
right.
if
Me and the
you will.
CBA go all the way
I
back,
don't feel
too.
like that's the same approach that Abby's dad took to the car dealer.
I'm not saying you
Or the
but-
jet skis.
No benefit analysis.
No. Look, my dad did similar shady shit.
Never came into play.
When I was growing up, my dad did the same shady shit where outside of our house at one point we had like 4 cars that I was like, when did you get a Cadillac? When did we get a double-decker van?
No,
when did you get a
totally,
fucking
totally.
3 Buicks?
Is that
And then
how it was for
they
you?
would just disappear.
Did that happen to me?
It happened to you a little bit?
Yeah, one time I came home from school and there was this huge delivery truck in my driveway, like big white 15, I don't know, 20-foot like truck in my driveway, and it said Bajoko on the side of it, and I was like, Dad, there's a delivery truck in our driveway, and he's like, oh yeah, I bought it. I was like, why? Why'd you buy it? And he goes, it's a bread delivery truck. And I said, again, I'm not making the connection here. And he said, oh, I'm going to open a bakery. He doesn't bake. I've only seen him take a piece of bologna and put it on mayo, like on bread, and then
Right.
and then eat it and then feed the other half to our dog. Like he just I've never seen him grill. I've never seen him cook a single piece of anything.
How old
ever.
were you when that
How many
truck
food
was-
trucks
do you
does he
remember
own
how
is what I want to know.
He
All the
doesn't
ones
know
at
what
the
food
festival.
trucks are. I don't even think.
Food trucks would probably blow his mind up, I feel
Yeah,
like.
I think they would.
It's going to be his new
Prices.
business. Once he sees them, he's going
Jewish
to be like,
man.
all right, I like this.
I was like 16 probably when that happened, and then like the next day the truck was gone.
I was going to say, like, how does the truck end up disappearing? Because it sounds like the
I
truck
slept on it.
Just
Turned out it wasn't a very good
disappears,
idea.
And you think think, oh, that truck disappeared. It's probably being used by somebody in our. But then like it just never comes back, and you're like 2 months later, like what the fuck happened? To that
Did you
delivery
ask
truck?
him like what happened to the bread delivery truck? What happened to the bakery?
I'm sure I asked him when I was younger. My memory is so bad from like when I was younger, just because so much shit happened that it's hard to remember all the shit that happened.
It sounds like there was a lot of things to
I'm
keep
with
track
you.
of.
Yeah.
I tell this story a lot. I think but like the scariest thing that ever happened to me was like one of the scariest. Is like when I came home and I couldn't find the phone. Have you heard this story?
I think so, yeah.
And they like pushed the call button and it wasn't going off. And so I went in my dad's room to find the phone, and he had a huge bed. And so I went I got on the floor, and he had a bed skirt that went down to the floor, and I lifted up the bed skirt, and then I saw blonde hair and a body. And I was like, oh, not my family. And sure enough, she like a horror film like slowly turned her head over like a fucking troll doll. Wow. And then she rolled out from underneath it, and she was like barely wearing anything, and she had a baggie in her left hand, and I don't know what was in this, drugs or something, and then on the right hand she had the phone. And and she looked at me and she was like, were you looking for this? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I was just borrowing it. And then she gave it to me and walked out of my house. And I was like, that's fucking so weird. And I told my dad when I got home, and he was just like, oh, whatever. Like
That's Stacy. What are you gonna do?
I guess it was like we had this guy who lived downstairs who had downstairs and had like hair down to his ass crack.
It was all in
His
Michigan,
Dave. Right? Yeah, all in Michigan. I grew up in Oxford, but when I was 16, my dad had a house in Ortonville, which is the same. Just to give you
So
a piece of
is it
mind.
all rural kind of Michigan?
It's
or?
where Kid Rock lives.
Oh no
If that gives
way!
you an idea.
You're from that fucking Oh shit!
And it's not a nice town. It's not a nice town in any way, shape, or form.
I guess that's why I claim Mississippi now. I guess.
Because he's not straight out of Compton. He's straight out the trailer.
Right. Yeah.
Straight out the trailer.
So you and Kid Rock come from the same
Quote for quote.
socioeconomic background, if
Yep.
you will.
Back when he was dating Pamela Anderson, I remember seeing her and him in a Sam's Club once. I was like, I don't like my life.
Wait, what were you looking for at Sam's Club that day? Do you remember?
Food? I
All
don't
right,
know.
that's fair. I mean, you could have been. I don't know.
That is
you
now
know?
that once you answered it, I was like, that is a ridiculous
I
question.
don't think it's that ridiculous.
Will, it's funny you asked.
Well,
that was
that
the day.
particular-
You know what? I have had some very urgent needs that I went to Costco for that I remember they were
Such
distinct
as
moments in my life.
what, Teddy?
I don't want to share them
You
with you.
Protect my life.
Vitamins, if you will.
Vitamins. I need a huge jar
If
of
you will.
vitamins.
If you will.
You just have to understand it when somebody says vitamins, if you will. My brain goes, "What Valtrex? What are you trying to pick up there? Like, what's vitamins, if you
Actual
will?"
vitamins.
All right. Well, then there's no if you will to it, right? Once you start saying
just-
if you will,
Listen,
that's sort of like of a sort. Picking up vitamins of a
we're
sort, you might
distracting
say.
from the fact that she encountered America's trashiest couple at the time in a Sam's Club.
In a Sam's Club, no less. If you will.
Just hanging out.
If you will.
Damn you both.
Kid Rock, if you will.
There-
Well, if somebody said like it was Kid Rock, if
just
you
a
will,
formality
you'd go
of
like, so
speech.
a guy who just looks like Kid Rock,
Walter
which
Cronkite-
I'd imagine there's a
Walter
lot in Michigan
Cronkite
that just
frowns
have
on you
long
somewhere.
blonde hair and wear a
There's-
trucker hat
yeah,
and
I
a
was
white
super.
beater.
I left Michigan the second I graduated high school. I got out of there. I moved to Chicago, and then I lived there for like 5
Chicago.
years. And then
And then you
came
said
here.
fucking L.A. That's the home.
Yeah.
That's where the.
Pretty much. I really fucking hated it when I first got here. I hated
So
it.
you have a fear of commitment to states.
No, no, that's not at all like your fucking commitment, whatever car shit you have going on.
That's not
Look,
like
if
your-
you
your
could-
insecurity on your
If you could just
Mitch.
trade in a car and get another car, wouldn't you?
Why would
That's a
you do
fucking
that?
lot of
It's
hassle,
a weird
man.
thing to do,
What?
man.
It's
That's
way
a
less
lot of-
hassle than the DMV.
What if you just found a car that you liked, bro?
But
I mean, I've done.
for-
Yes, I've
yes.
definitely done that. Yeah.
But
no, you
also-
clearly haven't. Mr.
I have.
15 cars.
The last car I liked got repoed. That's why I'm fixing my
the
credit
only
now.
thing that I'll
so I can
say
get back to that.
about what
Okay.
you're doing that's a benefit is that when you
Okay.
buy a car, you immediately like lose so much value on it because like it just goes down in value. But if you are, I mean, that's the only benefit that I can see.
You're
But
living your life.
at the same time. That's a car. You know what I mean? Like you live in your car 50%, especially in LA.
I don't. No, my car's a way to get places. I'm not.
So
Look,
then why do you have to get a new one if it's just a?
because it's fun to get places and things that I enjoy being
Sounds
in.
like a lot of work.
It does.
It's
man.
not. It's really
It
not.
does.
It's one stop.
I missed the
you
party
sign
at
some
Grand
paperwork,
Dam that I
you're
had
done.
in high school. It was very comfortable.
It's way.
It had
way-
a great system that the faster you drove, the more the music got louder. I don't know if you've ever been in cars like that. That shit was awesome.
I'm just telling you. I'll take buying a new car or going to the DMV any day of the week.
What?
So.
Well, I think anybody would.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so why not just go get another car? Why fucking deal with the DMV?
Also,
Well, because
because
you
you
can't
don't need to go to the
just- yeah.
DMV every 6 months.
Yeah.
by
No,
the
I know
way.
that. I'm saying previously I would wait every 2 years. You
That
see?
seems
Even-
moderately healthy. Every 6 months.
Well, this is
seems
just to fix
crazy
the
to
credit.
me.
This is just to fix the credit. This is to fix the credit, and I work. My primary client, I make websites for now. I make websites for car companies. I used to make websites pretty much just for porn companies. Now I make them for car companies. So I'm in cahoots with all these various dealerships, and it's like I'm staring at cars all day, and I'm like, I wonder what it'd be like to drive that. Do you see where like you might go, oh, I need to,
Yeah, I know.
I fucked a lot more when I was working on porn, and now I drive a lot more than I'm working on car
Now that
sites.
you're
You see
working
how
on
this
car
works? It
sites.
just
How does that work when you work on websites and you just watch porn? Do you just say, "Hey, I saw you because I designed the website that you were on"? Is that how
it is an
works?
awkward conversation. I tried that early on. It's
I'm
real
the,
weird.
I'm the web designer
I
for
did-
the
I
porn
did-
site that you're on.
I did say like I made your website to a few Vivid girls at a Vivid party. I was like, hey, yeah, you're so and so forth, and it'd be like a girl who just got signed who's like, nobody recognizes me yet. I haven't even made my first movie yet. And I was like, no, I made your website like last week. Nice to meet you. Whatever. They weren't like, oh, you make websites.
Web-
They were, I'm
blow
sure
you.
they were somewhat weirded out, perhaps, if you will.
They just were like, okay, so you're here on business or whatever. Basically, like now, because the question in their head was probably like, how did this fucking guy get in here? And that answers their question. So they're probably like, oh, I'm glad I know that. All right, I get it. Okay, they're not just letting anybody into these things. All right, I get it. So
The web guy's here, so it's
yeah.
safe.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, well,
fair.
it's like you have an excuse. If you just let the riffraff into a porno party, it's a lot of grab ass. It's not good. You don't want that.
You can't have the riffraff. No riffraff at Riot, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
The first porno tape I ever saw was
Mm-hmm.
called "Getting the Lather," and it was an orange tape, and it was listen to this fucking story. It was in my brother's room, and I had moved into my brother's room, and I found
Soda.
it, and I was so freaked out by it that I didn't know what to do, and I was gonna throw it in the
you say.
trash, but then I thought, what if someone finds it in the trash
sure.
and thinks it's my tape?
But you
So-
got it from your brother.
Wait, how
No, no,
old?
no, I
How,
moved into my
how
brother's
old were you
room.
when this?
This was like when I was like 13.
Okay,
Or no, you know what? It must have been when I was 16. Totally older and capable
so
of
right
making
after the
decisions.
bread truck.
Okay. All right.
But I remember,
bread truck
I
week.
remember, I was freaking out because I didn't want my dad or anyone to think that it was my tape if they should find it in the trash, even burying it in the bottom of the trash. Just totally freaked out about the trash
Okay.
idea.
Sure.
So I decided the next logical step would be to put it underneath my car seat because no one's gonna look there. And I totaled my car. And then
Don't say that while I'm drinking water. You can't reveal that information while I'm drinking water.
I totaled my car, and I was on crutches and everything. And it was it was like my girlfriend's. It was like my best friend, my other best friend, and her mother, who was extremely modest. Like her mother was so modest that if I came over to her house and there was toilet paper on the counter that she just bought from the grocery store, she'd be like, "Leslie, get the toilet paper off the counter. We have guests."
Oh wow.
Like that modest. And she was helping me clean out my car. And sure enough, she was like, "What's under this car seat?" And she pulled out this tape that was mangled, that was bright orange, and said, "Get in the lather." And I was like, "That's not my tape. That's 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 not my tape. It's not my tape. It's not my tape. I don't know how to. It's not my tape." So embarrassed.
So
And then, I was like, "It's not my tape." And she didn't believe me. And
I'm
that
sure.
was, and
that
that's
was
all
a,
I
sure you're
remember.
very
that was
convincing.
a friend or the
Sure, you're
mom
very
that found that.
And then we threw it away because it was mangled. And that
Was it
it.
a friend or the mom that found it though?
Oh, it was the mom.
Oy.
Yeah, it was the mom
Yeah,
that found
man,
it. The
mom.
I
toilet
would
paper.
imagine a really modest mom would be like, "I'm gonna pretend I didn't see this. Never happened."
No, because she
No,
didn't know
no,
what it
no, no,
was,
yeah.
and it was mangled. So and we were
Alright.
trying to the car was in the the lot or whatever. So everyone's like,
You're saying you
pulling-
watched this tape previously though, just to be like, "What the hell is this? Oh, I don't want to see that."
it was
that
like
kind of thing?
beautiful 70s porn, the stuff that
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
exist
I
anymore.
know.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that type of thing. And now to this day, I'm like, I wish I still had that tape. I wasn't so scared
All right.
about it. But
I'll
like,
put that on
also
your
I don't
Christmas
have a
list.
VHS
That's going
like
on the list.
it was.
Gifts for Abby for
Go-
Christmas.
someone go on
find
eBay
that.
Get in
and
the
find
ladder.
Abby
And
some.
you can find that for me. But yeah, I was so mortified. I'm sure you can't find.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be like
Try
the,
IMDb again.
for like
Give
a
me-
16-year-old. That's gotta be like the worst. Like you're like, because everyone's got, like I feel like everyone's got that thing where they're like, okay, listen, if I die, I got the porn thing.
Get in
and you
the
gotta
ladder,
like, you like everyone, like you people tell your friends like, okay, if I die, you
Yeah.
gotta get rid of the porn before people come to my house and search things, because I can't have them finding that shit out or whatever. But like to just be in high school and in a fucking car wreck and you're like, oh no, the porn that I left.
That I put under my car seat
Right.
because I was too scared to.
It's
throw
like the
it
same
away.
thing when like you were looking at porn as a kid and like your parents come home early or whatever and you're just like, oh fuck, no, you can't use the computer now.
Yeah.
It's my turn. What's happening right now? Is that Jackson 5?
That's what happens when you try to search for porn DVDs while you're doing a podcast.
Well, that's like a bad Jackson
Well,
5
Adam
cover.
and Eve has a section called
Okay.
70s porn
All right.
DVDs.
Okay.
So I was
All
thinking
right.
like, well,
All right.
surely.
It was called Get in the Leather. That's all I remember.
Did
I
it
don't
have the
remember.
apostrophe on getting by chance?
It was the
I
70s,
want
so
to
it's
say
fair.
no. I
It's
want to
fair.
say it was Getting in the Lather, but I can't.
Getting
I can't.
in the lather.
Getting in. Yeah. Wait, or was it Get in the Lather? Shit. I can't remember.
I'm sure the trauma of the
You
car
know what? I
accident
feel
wiped
like-
it out of your head.
I feel like it might have just been Get in the Lather, but I can't remember.
Well, now you're making it very difficult.
Well, I
for
didn't
me.
know it was gonna be a thing. I was telling a story.
I know, but
It started off as
you
an
said you wished
anecdote,
you had
Mitch.
it, so like now I'm thinking, I wonder if you could still get that.
Do you really? Is that where your mind went to?
I would be actually curious. I'm kind of curious.
Oh.
I mean,
As it turns out, that's a phrase. That's in thesaurus.com.
yeah, right.
I did not know that. Get in a lather, become wet with sweat. It's a verb,
Yeah.
like a get in a lather. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
it's
It's a
interesting.
colloquialism.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like they were just making porn titles out of nothing back in the 70s. They had a little bit of wit behind it. It wasn't just like, black dick inside of me 7. You know what I'm saying? Like they tried a little bit back then.
Right.
They
Well,
tried.
they haven't put it on DVD, unfortunately.
They didn't try that much, but they tried a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Debbie does Dallas. They didn't try that much.
Well, my dreams are destroyed now. So.
I'm sorry. I
Mitch,
didn't
stop
mean to.
searching.
I'm sorry. I'm doing what I can.
Stop
All right.
searching.
All right. I'm
Stop
sorry.
it.
It's okay.
I wonder how many people are listening.
I was like-
Get in the lather, trying to find it.
Riffopolis. Is,
I think I
in
was
a- in
I
a
was like
lather itself right
I was
now.
probably 16 or 17 before I saw like an actual like porno like video,
Yeah.
and it was also 70s, and I remember it was like this guy with a real big ass mustache, and it was like some kind of a wedding thing, and he I just remember kind of like fast forwarding through because it was just super boring, and I remember getting to a point where he I guess he had like fucked one of the bridesmaids or something like that, and then she had asked him to like hang out. She started being like very emotional with him. He's like, so he was trying to get away from her, and he ran into one room to hide. And he's like, okay, I made it, and it was the bride's room, and she's like, oh, you're here, and everything else. And he looked at the camera and he goes, well, I fucked my way into the family. I guess I got to fuck my way out.
Oh no.
And then, or whatever. And I just, that line sticks out to me forever. That'll be one of those lines that I never
Always sticks
forget. So,
It's a pretty unforgettable line.
yeah, it's good. So, I've never gotten a chance to use it.
Teddy, any porn lines? While we're on porn lines?
I don't have any.
You don't got a porno story?
I don't have any. I don't have. It's not a good one. That's not good.
Maybe we shouldn't go into
It's
it
not-
then. All right.
Well, I mean, it's not.
You want me to
Let's
get into
just-
some news
you know,
or what?
That's fine. Let's just go on.
All right.
Let's move
All right.
on.
Well, we can move
the way
on.
that he said that made me very uneasy.
You know what?
It's not
We'll
good. you
share
guys.
it
It's
off
not-
air, and it'll go down in the
All right.
Riffopolis Wikipedia as a
Abby,
bonus
you
thing.
can pick the first order of news to get into of things, links, and such, which I stumbled across since the last time we were on the show. You tell me which one you're most interested in talking about. Harvard figures out how to make hard drives out of DNA. The Oatmeal online comic, starts a campaign to buy Tesla's old laboratory and turn it into a Tesla museum. I have an amusing anecdotal story with photos of a psychotic woman after a one-night stand.
That one. I'm just kidding. Do I
Okay.
have to listen to
It's
the
not
rest?
my, by the way, not my story, just
You
a
don't-
story.
You don't have to listen to the rest.
And American Airlines trying to sue and or remove the people who are on the permanent unlimited miles list.
What?
And a website called What the Fuck NASA, which is a series of facts of things that NASA has done great for the world, things they've invented, and so on and so forth to prove to people that NASA is super important. Here's your list.
I do believe we know what Abby's answer
I
is.
am interested in number 1 as well, which is the DNR to a.
DNA, okay, yeah, which is
whatever,
fascinating.
the
I'm
DNR.
so fascinated. Go on.
But you want to go with the Psycho Broad.
I kind of want to go with the Psycho
Okay,
Broad,
all right.
yeah.
Okay, so the name of the post, the title of this post was, so a friend took a girl home last night but had to go to work this morning. This is what he gets to return home to. So you can see there's a bunch of Post-it notes, right? And these are collected throughout the house, and he just piled them together to show him. One of them says, let's see,
What is it?
bought you a new candle. It smells like funfetti cake. Made the bed. Don't know why. We're just going to mess it up again. P.S.
Clean shower.
I am holding a hoodie for ransom. I'm sure you can find some way to get it off me. There's clean the shower, things like this.
Right.
You see. So that's just
There's a ton of
but there's
Post-it notes.
more.
There's more.
Oh yeah. This is one that he later found in his shower. It says, "Pretty, right? Bleach cleaning," and it's on the shower tile.
That says I heart beach cleaning.
Oh,
Let's be fair.
My bad. I thought she was just.
Let's be fair. It does
I-
not say the first thing.
I like her.
I like this
I like
girl.
her a lot.
You like her. You like where she's going. Have you ever accidentally gotten psychotic with a man? A little bit too clingy.
Okay. Well, let's see let's see what Abby's thoughts are outside of the old. Have you
Okay.
gotten psychotic?
Well,
paradigm.
she gave her thoughts. She likes her.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
I love cleaning with bleach, you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, guys, that's like.
I am. If you
for
if
onesies.
you ask my boyfriend, I am super clean. I'm like extremely clean, almost like not psychotic clean.
Okay.
But I would never.
I said clingy, not cleany.
Oh, clingy like that. Well, here's the thing: if you're gonna leave notes like that,
Do we know what kind of time frame their relationship had existed for?
yeah, that's
One night.
One night. Okay.
This is the
Whoa,
next morning.
Wait, this was one night.
Yeah.
Did I miss that? in the
Took a girl
headline?
home that night, and in the morning he had to go to work. Now, by the way,
So
this
he
is why you
came
don't-
home from work.
He came home from work to
Said
those,
you could
to
stay
to
here,
all
which
these.
was a mistake.
Yeah,
obviously.
That's a huge
Never leave.
mistake.
I
on
would
his
never
part.
leave a woman
Is
alone
there
in my
any
apartment.
backstory?
No, it's not even a
Is
woman.
there any
The
backstory?
You gonna leave somebody in your apartment?
I
after-
could leave you here by yourself.
I'm
I'd
not
be
gonna
fine.
have sex with you.
I know, but you said if you leave anybody.
Oh, I wouldn't leave you in my apartment.
Okay.
That's a big.
I wouldn't want to be
that's
alone in your
That's
apartment
a
either,
big
to be fair.
question on who this dude is. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. They could have fallen in love. Like, they might have been into
I've
it.
got
We
a
don't
follow
know.
up. You
We
want
don't-
follow up? I got
I
follow
would
up.
love.
We don't know what that
Oh.
dude said to her to make her leave. A bunch of sticky notes.
You know what I
over.
mean? You know what I
Maybe he
mean?
said, "I've been desperately looking for a woman who would just wake up and clean."
Maybe they've been friends at work for years.
Right?
You don't know.
We have
What's
no
the
idea. We
backstory?
have no
What's
idea.
the backstory?
We don't know.
Let me
Although
see.
she's-
Maybe they're Pam and Jim from The Office. You
Right.
don't know.
Oh,
No,
they-
the follow up it makes it very clear that's not the case. The
Okay.
guy freaked out. That's why he piled. Okay,
Where is
here's
the
the
follow
thing.
up?
He gets
Give
home.
us all the details right now.
He gets
Piles
home.
all these. Okay.
He
okay.
because this thing has gone viral, and the guy who
Viral.
took the original photo is like kind of upset with his roommate for like posting this everywhere, or his friend, I guess is not his roommate.
I would be pretty fucking upset. I don't need all these motherfuckers
like,
in my
"Why'd
personal
you
life.
fucking show
I got
up
enough
about
problems.
it?"
Listen, this is my problem. Before you go, okay? I got enough problems already with my life because I'm making decisions that leads to me having a bitch in my house that puts up a bunch of sticky notes doing all this shit, okay? I don't need everybody in the fucking world's opinion on my shit, okay? I got enough fucking problems. I'll let you into my circle.
But it's really funny.
Yeah.
No, posting it. Damn it! I should have never roomed
Let's
with your
be fair.
bitch ass.
I want to know the follow
You
up.
could have. We could have
Okay,
not.
go for the
We could have
follow-up.
not
Go for the
talked
follow-up.
about this.
Go for
But
the follow-up.
she jumped on.
I'm
it.
just
I
saying
did.
my opinion
Okay.
from his perspective. I'm not saying that we should
Okay.
have talked about it.
Okay.
It's very
So-
funny. I agree.
So the story is, dude gets home from work. He found all these post-it notes throughout the house. He compiled them together to take a photo to show his friend, like, dude, right? Crazy, right?
Got it.
You got to see this. So here's a text message. Apparently, she was like calling and texting
Oh,
all
Moses.
next day. this is the last text message that he sent to his friend as a screenshot. Like, look what she sent me. Now, her remarks are in white on the left. Well, I'm working tonight, but I'm getting cut early because I'm at a double. I was supposed to stay with my bro, but because he punched me in the rib, that's out. And I can't go home because my mom has a house full of family, so I have nowhere to stay. Can I stay with you? No. Okay.
I like her. just like her,
you
you
can't.
guys.
Yeah,
I just like her.
you can't
know?
sway.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Once
a second.
Abby's a fan, she stays a fan.
Wait. Okay.
I have met this particular brand of crazy woman before. The one who can't figure out why people are just so mean to her. I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this girl's convinced that like the brother punched her in the rib, which may or may not have happened.
Yeah.
She may have just annoyed the shit out of him. And he's like, seriously, get the fuck away from me.
But in
You know,
fairness,
who
before
knows?
you go on, even if she annoyed the fuck out of her brother, he probably shouldn't have punched her in the ribs.
I'm not
By
saying
probably,
he did.
I mean,
I'm with
he
you.
Definitely shouldn't.
But
have
I'm
punched
not
her in the
saying.
ribs.
I'm saying that it's quite possible he didn't. He may have just shoved her like away from him because she wouldn't stop annoying him.
Okay.
I'm just saying there's a certain brand of clingy crazy that all these terrible bad things just happen to. I've known those girls and guys where they're sort of fucked up and then fucked up things happen to them, and after a while you go, I don't think your version of the events is a reality, because either you've got the worst luck, or from what I know of you being psychotic,
You have no self-awareness.
you have no self-awareness and no way to judge a situation properly.
Abby.
You've known this. You've known people like this.
Yeah.
Still like her, though. Still a fan.
Totally. I agree. I don't know. I mean, I've never gone along with women. I mean, I don't. I mean, not that well. Really, I didn't start to get along with chicks until I was probably in the last, couple of years or so. I mean, I just feel like, no, I'm not even gonna. I mean, I don't know. I just fucking. There are crazy bitches around. That's.
I
for
can
sure.
tell you. I can
there
tell
are
you
also
a.
crazy guys.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the fact of the matter is, that guy made a choice to sleep with that crazy chick.
Which is the problem in the beginning. Yes, that dude made a terrible mistake.
Whoever that girl
I'm still
is,
listening.
She
she's
put up
the
red flags.
same
Still
girl
listening.
who she was the night fucking before.
Holler.
So
Holler.
that guy.
At a bar.
Yeah, but
No, I don't mean no
that's
different.
your choice.
Yeah, you was there, son. You
That
knew
is
what you
his
were. So you
choice.
think that
They're both
dude went
drunk.
out for some fucking trivia night that night? No, that dude went out looking to make a terrible mistake. He made that mistake, and all of a sudden that mistake ends up on the internet. And now what? What?
I don't think that he was out looking for a mistake.
I'm gonna say he
per
made a mistake.
se.
I'm
I was
gonna
Yo,
say
saying-
that. I know.
let it be known. Tonight I make mistakes.
I'm actively.
I'm actively
Maybe he
looking to
did,
make a
but
mistake.
I do
He
have
could have
to
been
say
self-destructive.
Okay.
He could have
that
been
crazy
self-destructive.
chick is that crazy chick is that crazy chick.
She put up those.
He-
She put
I
up
could,
all the
let me
red
tell you a
flags she
true.
needed
Let me
to.
tell you a true story that happened to me just after high school.
I don't think the story's
better
gonna do
be
any
fucking
favors.
great.
This is gonna be different. This is gonna be different from his story entirely, but somewhat related insofar as crazy, clingy chick. I used to have a lot of drug parties in my apartment. We've talked about this before.
Have we?
Yes.
I don't
Okay.
feel comfortable.
This was
here.
one of my. This is one of my many like acid parties and so on and so forth.
You're
This
not
is
helping
this
a case.
this particular party. We had like 25 something people in a basically this size apartment, like 25 people all just on acid, and so there was just people I didn't know even there. They were friends of friends, and a lot of people just crashed out and whatever. And I worked across the street at the Circle K, so I went to I went to work and I come back, and some people were still hanging around, but at this point I'm fucking super tired. I'm going to bed. I wake up, you know what I mean? Some people are still there, still kind of hanging out. And I'm figuring most of them I know, and the ones I don't know, I figure are friends of the other people. And I don't really ask any questions. And then I go to work, and I come home, and there's just a girl on my bed who's like set up shop. She's got like some clothes out and stuff like this. She's got like, she's in her pajamas and things. She's watching TV. And I'm just going like, all right, I don't know who you are, or like how you got here, or who let you in, or anything. She's like, yeah, we were doing acid together. Remember, I'm fucking. She said her. I still don't remember her name. I really don't. And I didn't know who this woman was, and so I walked out of my living room and I was like, all right, who brought her? And everybody's like, I don't know, fucking I thought he brought her. I thought you brought her. I thought you brought her. And like nobody could figure out who she was or where she came from. She was definitely at the acid party, so everybody was convinced that she just knew somebody who knew somebody. And you know, I was like, get the fuck out of my apartment, like leave, go. And then over the course of 2 weeks, she would just come in. She would just, you know, walk into the apartment, or like she'd talk to somebody who was going to come in, who was like, oh, another party. And she would, find her way. And I wouldn't even know she was there until, like, at night I'd go to bed, and then this woman would crawl on me. And I'd be like, you gotta get the fuck out of my apartment, lady. And it took me, like, 2 weeks to get rid of her. It was really weird. So.
I just want to point out one thing in your story.
Go ahead.
Is very early on,
Okay.
and you said, I figured I knew everybody, and then you also said, I just didn't ask any questions. And I would like to say that is where you went wrong. I just would like to point out that might be, maybe you should have asked a couple of questions.
Fun and fancy-free. Being young is all about.
You know.
Look, when you're
It's
like...
not a good way to throw a party, my friend. You can't just have much.
Maybe I learned from that
All right,
mistake.
listen.
Maybe I have, maybe I haven't.
Because I don't know if you have.
I mean, I guess when you get
Stop
right down
talking
to it.
just now.
You know.
He just stopped
yeah, I
talking.
guess.
Have I learned from it? I could say something, but it would be a lie.
I'm not going to say that I haven't since had situations where I'm like, who
many
is this
people have
person?
you had
Who
dropping
knows this
acid?
person?
Have you not?
I don't mean dropping acid.
Who's the
I just mean
dude?
in
Who's the
general.
dude that doesn't know the dude over here? Have you asked that question before at a party?
What?
Why have you
No.
not asked that
Why
question?
would anybody ask that question?
Because you
Who's
care.
the dude that doesn't know the dude?
Who's the dude that doesn't know this dude over here? Everyone would raise their hand. You better
Wait.
get out.
Oh,
you
I
kick that
see
dude
what you're
out. Do you see?
Right.
No, you'd probably
you
say,
get it,
who's
Abby.
the dude who does know this dude would be a
Nope.
better one because there'd be
Nope.
less hands to count. And
Nope.
When you're on acid,
I
they
want
double.
to affirm that you don't know him. Do you see? That's the difference.
Oh, I would want to affirm that somebody does, and if nobody raises their hands,
Because
then
I
they-
already
then
know
you go.
nobody knows this strange motherfucker. That's why I'm kicking your ass out.
But I didn't really look. I didn't really see her because I look. I had a special crew of people that were allowed into my inner circle when I was on acid. I would sit in a bathtub, right? Not with any water, just sit there with
Why
a red
does the story
light.
get more weird each time?
'Cause I was on acid.
Listen, I had a crew where I was on a bathtub, right?
It was a red light.
Yeah, listen. So I had my bathtub because I was,
I had my acid thrown, right?
my apartment,
It was a
my
Kohler
bathtub. So I'd sit in the bathtub under a red light, and I would do my. And so I'd have friends that would come in and we'd have like sort of sessions. We'd just kind of talk and we'd whatever, and they'd
Abby
come and
is
go.
dumbfounded
At no
right now.
point did this particular crazy broad come out the living room and come into the tub situation.
Well, who did she know that the tub was popping off?
I
Did
mean,
she know that
it
was a
wasn't
thing?
popping off. It was a very it was VIP. It was like you got to get checked at the door.
We had a velvet rope.
I have
Yeah, I
I have a
did.
serious question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Are you the same guy from the sticky note story? Because
No,
I feel
no,
like there's potential, and that maybe you are him, or know
No.
him, or are
No.
brothers with him.
No.
Are you the
Because
same guy?
really,
No.
if
I
you think
promise
about
you.
it, you're the one who put yourself in that situation around
I have definitely put
around
myself. Yeah.
fucking crazy acid people.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely have.
But now, mind you, that was 16 years ago.
Point being,
Well, I don't do that now. I don't do acid now.
Yeah, but
I
the sticky
underst-
notes.
I
you
understand.
sticky
I
notes,
get-
you
I-
see.
Now, yes, I've taken home the occasional straggler from the bar.
You're not helping your case, B.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
not helping your case right
I'm not
now.
making a case.
You
I'm not
did,
making a case.
And that is very apparent. You know
I'm
what I'm
not.
saying?
I'm not trying to. All I'm saying is, if I was the sticky note guy, I'd have more information
Would you?
than what you'd asked for
wouldn't
earlier. And I was
offer
like, I don't
nothing.
know. This is all I got.
If
I had
if
to
you were the
look up.
sticky note guy, I think what you would say is I don't know. To be honest with you,
I would tell you. No,
I would want
you
to
know
confess.
me. I would
to
tell
Abby.
you.
You want to tell me? You
I
wouldn't tell
would,
me about bringing her.
absolutely.
If I went and and you would not tell me about all the sticky notes, bro.
Listen,
I'm gonna go to the
do
restroom
you-
right now and look for sticky note
Do
residue
you
in your
recall?
showers.
Hold on.
I'm gonna look
On
for that
this
shit
very
right
show,
now.
do you recall on this very show how I was haunted by my iTunes playlist, and I thought that while I slept, a girl that I had sex with had ran to my computer and downloaded a bunch of songs that I would never ever listen to and filled up my iTunes playlist. And I thought this for months until I realized that one time we synced your iPod to my computer, and that's where all that music came from.
Fair.
And I talked about that on this show. I would
Wait,
very much
wait,
admit
wait,
that.
Can wait one
Okay.
more thing?
That's fair.
Hold
So
on,
wait,
backsies.
no wait, but you thought that it was a girlfriend's playlist, but it was really Teddy's playlist.
I didn't say girlfriend.
You
I
said girl.
girl.
You said girl.
Yeah.
What's on Teddy's playlist?
Hey.
Rap and stuff,
I just-
like rap
but
and
you still
R&B
thought it was a
and
chick?
rap and R&B and
I'm
like
just curious.
Foo Fighters
curious.
and things like this.
I was just
This is already. I've already been damned now by the whole comparison that's even been. Set
All
up.
I'm saying, look,
It's
this
already-
I was
this
just
And just because I had a couple Drake songs, all of a sudden you think it's gonna be a girls' playlist.
here's the thing. If I'm very
it's
I'm
just a question.
I'm very particular and meticulous with my playlist. Like, I'm not saying I know every single song in there, but they were all
But I know all of them.
I made sure that I tagged them properly. They got the right artist and album. They have the genre, the
My
year,
shit's tagged,
lyrics,
too. Don't make it seem like I'm
album
sloppy.
covers, you name it, right? I got everything labeled
I don't have
properly.
lyrics.
I know where all of them came from. They don't just show up out of nowhere. So if all of a sudden I'm in my car listening to my iPod and Drake comes on, I'm going, there's no way I
Or
downloaded
some
this song.
Asteroid Galaxy tour.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yesterday that happened. But so
I got
so
range,
this-
bitches.
This
I got
Drake
range.
song comes on, and I'm going to myself, okay, I know I did not download. I would have never downloaded this song.
So,
if
but
I
his-
was- if
but
I-
his brain immediately
And
goes
my
to a
immediately,
theory that
my
a
second
girl
thought
would be-
was the only way this would go on my playlist is if I was banging out with a broad who was like, hey,
your first thought.
I really got to
Your
hear
first
that
thought.
Drake song, and that's when I would have downloaded it. But I know I didn't bang anybody like that recently, and so therefore, there's no reason for this to be my playlist. So I thought, well, maybe it's a fluke. Maybe something got mislabeled when I synced it to iCloud. Who knows? Fast forward a few days, some other fucking crazy song comes up. I'm like, what? And then I start searching my playlist for common rap names, and I'm finding all this shit that I definitely didn't download. Thinking back to about a year ago on this podcast, there was a story about a woman, a guy who slept with this girl, and he woke up the next morning and saw her near his computer, pull a flash drive out of his computer and put it in her vagina, and then she walked out the door. And I was like, oh my God, that terrifies me, right? So fast forward to this crazy rap thing is happening, and I'm remembering back to like 2 weeks prior where I slept with a girl, and I woke up the next morning, and she had made her entire side of the bed, and she was sitting Indian style on her side of the bed, just sitting up.
That's just
And
mad
I was
weird.
like,
that's mad weird.
oh
son.
shit, man. And
mad
I was
weird.
thinking like, now she didn't do anything. We've since hung out many times. She's a good friend.
you know?
We're cool.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
We're good. Yeah.
You sure about that?
Now, of course, I lock my computer after
I don't have that much Drake
it
on my
auto
phone.
locks after 3 minutes. So I mean, it's cool. Nobody's gonna touch my shit. I got too much stuff I got to lose. I hide all my electronics before I invite anybody over. Look, I got this handled. I'm just saying that yes,
clear you
it
have
occurred to me that maybe that morning I thought, holy shit, what if she got up, went to my computer and like looked up all these songs and then was like, oh shit, he's waking up and got back in the bed. And then I was like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. But listen, you got to be weird enough to want to jump into bed with me in the first place. So I have to just
So
give
you're
that.
saying there's a chance.
Yes. But I already knew when I discovered it, when I remember I was in the car with you and you were like, oh, I love this song. And I was like, I didn't put this song in my playlist. Teddy loves this song. And then I was like, okay, how can I? And then I remembered because I went to go sync something else and it was like, hey, such and such app has an update. And I was like, I didn't download that app. And then it asked me for your
that my
password.
Black People
and I was
Monthly?
like, oh, yeah, it was. And asked me for your password, so I couldn't get it. And I was like, oh, cancel. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's right.
Password is
It was
Amistad.
fucking that's where all the songs came from. So anyway, I did discuss that on this podcast. So had I been the sticky note guy, yes, I would have discussed it here on the podcast. So unfortunately, I
Or
don't
maybe
have-
we are discussing it now for the first time.
Okay.
And you have not revealed you are the man in the iron mask.
You guys have a weird relationship.
I'm the
Don't
sticky.
you dare bring it back like that.
Here's the twist. I'm the sticky note writer. Boom,
I
boom.
knew it.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's
knew
that's all I got. So there you go. See, that's
It's just mad. I mean, I think Abby brings up a good point, though, in conclusion, is that that man made a personal life decision to introduce that human being into his life. And exactly.
I'm with you. All right.
I'm a firm believer in that people give up those signals well before you can ever bring them home. You know if someone's going to leave a bunch of random sticky notes and go.
And even if you don't know they're gonna go that far, you still know that there's a little bit of crazy in there, so
Right.
you don't know what's gonna go on.
Let's be honest. Everybody likes a little bit of crazy.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, we really don't.
That's where
No.
it gets. Yeah, because
No,
listen,
I don't. I don't want that.
it's real boring in the bedroom without a little bit of crazy.
What about why? What if the bedroom is not a thing?
The bedroom's always a thing.
Come again?
Okay.
Sorry.
Fine, both of you. Both of you. I'm out.
Teddy's walking away. Just for
Yeah.
anybody who's listening
Yeah.
right now,
He's,
he's upset.
He's out, bitch. That's what he's trying to say. Is what he would normally say. I'm out, bitches. But he's actually just going to the bathroom. But yeah, that's specifically what we're talking about, is in the bedroom. And look, I'm not talking about this little bit of crazy. This is a lot of crazy. That girl's like a
Right.
level 5 clinger. You know what I'm saying? That's not
No,
good.
that's not. That's
But
more
a
than
little bit of crazy. Again, I don't like normal women don't want to talk to me. I get it. I mean, I
What-
get it.
Just out of curiosity, what is your definition of normal women?
Not a little bit of crazy.
Not a little bit of crazy.
The I wouldn't say red flags, but like beige flags, perhaps. I don't
Beige
know. What's
flags.
in between red and white, right? The pink flag.
I
Nah,
guess I
that's-
guess so. I mean, I
yeah.
guess so. I do.
That's
I
more like
have
a
heard
breast
from.
cancer
I have
flag.
heard. You're not. It's not like a. I don't think you're making a broad statement by any way, because I have heard from several of my guy friends that crazy women are the best women in bed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have heard that from multiple.
You haven't found that with dudes?
I
The
don't-
crazy dudes are a
I
little
don't-
bit.
I don't.
You just don't want to trust your stuff to
No,
a
I don't
crazy
think
guy?
that
I
it
get
applies as much, and maybe
Okay.
that's just me being like negative.
You know what I think it
female
is?
person, but
My theory on it is that the reason why crazy girls might be a little more, because a normal girl is thinking stuff like, oh God, who's he going to tell? I hope he's not taping this. Oh God, he's going to talk about. He's
Wait,
going to
a
remember
normal
this.
girl is thinking that.
This is what I'm thinking. What the fuck? A normal girl might be like, I'm not gonna like eat his asshole on the first day because then he's gonna talk
I'm
about
sorry,
it. So
I'm sorry. This is
Do
not a
not think
normal
your
girl.
I don't think your normal girl range is appropriate.
I don't think you're normal.
Hold
girl.
on.
Okay.
I don't
I'm
think
listening,
you're
I'm
hearing
listening.
me.
All right.
A normal girl isn't going to
Ah.
do certain things because she might think to herself, he's going to judge me, or he might talk about it with his friends, or I might be embarrassed about it later, and so on and so forth, right? A crazy bitch doesn't think that because she's already crazy. She's already
Right.
gone past the point of like, what society think about me? I'm wearing bottle caps for hair clips, you know, like, I don't care what... And then like some guy's like, "Hey, she fucking sucked me after she pulled the condom off, put me in her ass, and then put it in her mouth." And people are like, "Yeah, she's crazy. She's wearing bottle caps in her hair." And you're like, "I'm just saying, like she's lost all like semblance of what will society think of me." And when women lose inhibitions, good things happen. So what you need is a little bit of crazy. You need them to lose a little of that judgment, so that they kind of let loose the goose or whatever. But guys, I feel like they don't feel as judged sexually at all, and so they're probably
I
not
don't
going to
think
be
so
as
Well, I think that's more of a- I
inclined.
think that's definitely a fact.
So there you
this
go.
culture. There's less of the there's less of the restrictiveness.
So
on the
now,
male
why did you
sexuality,
say?
is what
Why
you're
did you
saying.
say what if the bedroom's not a thing? Why did that come up when we were
Well,
specifically talking about the
it's
bedroom?
the conversation that we've had before, where it's that people are willing to put up with a lot of detrimental, just completely self-destructive or destructive qualities in a person because, well, the sex is good. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, if you were to eliminate that element and you just evaluated your function and your relationship with a person, you'd be like, well, listen, outside of the fact that whenever the coitus happens, it's very enjoyable, you ruin everything about my happiness and my pursuit thereof of that thing. So I'm not going to interact with you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I feel like,
But-
no,
Okay,
that's
go ahead,
okay.
go
See,
ahead,
but
go
see,
ahead,
that
go ahead,
but
go
is
ahead.
why the world is terrible. I
No,
feel
no,
like.
no.
Because no,
You don't know
because
what my butt is
I
gonna be.
do. I have a good idea. I feel like.
All right, I don't think you do. But
Okay,
go ahead.
fair, but
Touche.
but my thing is that, like, okay, listen, if you
We're like doing a show just for Abby right now. But,
Oh my God, this is just for me.
that's what it seems like. I feel bad.
My
Like
whole point is, no, my
you
whole-
can jump in at
I
any
fucking
point.
love this shit.
No,
Okay, all right, all right,
my
all right,
thing
all
is
right,
that,
go ahead.
like,
Sorry.
it's that sense that it starts very early on where you get. I mean, it's passed down from generation to generation to generation. It's the idea of that.
You calling
like,
my mom crazy?
Yeah, I'm calling everybody's parents crazy. You know how I feel about that shit.
it's cool. I got
But it's that thing of like, well, because the sex is good, like I should put up with a lot of crazy. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like, what if you just didn't put up with the crazy and you went on with your life and maybe you found someone else who you enjoyed the sex with and the crazy wasn't there? Do you know what I mean? But like, because the sex is so good, you want to hold on to it because you're like, what if I never find this again, even though this motherfucker is crazy? And people are too willing to just hold on to that primal satisfaction
That's
in the
fair,
face in the face of a self-destroying crazy far too often.
I will give you that. I would also
That is the
add.
only reason Maury Povich has stayed in business for as long as he has.
I will
and
also
Jerry
add
Springer.
that, however, I think that it's not necessarily always about sex. I've known people who go through crazy amounts of crazy and are with terribly detrimental people, and they're just like, look, I don't know. There's just I love her or whatever, and you're like, and you know the sex isn't good because they haven't fucked in 2 years or whatever it is, and you're like, you know what I mean? A lot of there's a lot of weird fears. There's a lot of like, oh well, it's that there's a lot of relationships where it's like, well, I don't want to leave her because then I can't stand the thought of her being with somebody else, but like it's killing me to stay here. So it's like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
Dawson's
people make a
Creek
lot of
insecurity
terrible
bullshit.
mistakes when it comes to relationships, but I'm not here to fucking judge and say, oh well, that's the right one and that's the wrong one. Yes, people are motivated to stay with crazy people for sex reasons, but I think people are motivated to stay with incompatible people for all number of reasons. And
I guess that
What are you gonna do?
I don't get why you would stay with somebody who you were incompatible with or didn't get along with or didn't make you happy. Like, I really cannot wrap my
absolutely,
head.
yeah.
But it's sex, though. That's the thing. It is sex so far
No.
often. It is. It is for so many people. You're like, listen, everything about this relationship is totally fucking wrong. Why do you stay with this person? And you're like, well, like you see so many cases people are like, well, the sex is really good, which is an expression, and I'm not saying it's all about the sex, but the sex becomes an expression of other emotional issues or whatever shit is going on, and that's the one place they can find some sort of ability to express that shit, and they stay because, yeah, it may have been 6 or 7 months, but like when it happens again, like, oh yeah, I got the fucking hide, you know what I mean? And that becomes the manifestation of the thing you can't wrap your mind around.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that it matters whatever the one thing is. I think people
think it
often...
does.
No, I don't think it matters. Why does it matter if the one thing is sex or, oh, I love the way she cuddles or whatever it is? It doesn't...
Well,
it
because
doesn't-
sex is a much more
Well,
important
I'm just
thing
not-
than
I guess
cuddling
what I'm
in
saying
human
is, like,
fucking life.
I'm just not here to,
No one gives. I mean, like,
I
cuddling
don't
is
know.
not a fucking base level human thing,
You
bro.
wouldn't stay with somebody because of the way that they cuddle. Come
Okay,
on.
I mean that's a dumb analogy.
Come on.
I
Very
cuddle
dumb.
like... I'm
No,
just...
you're not that good of a cuddler.
I'm not e-
You're not.
No, I'm not saying it. I am. I'm
And I'm
definitely
not.
No,
You're
I'm-
not. I cuddle the shit out of anybody, son, but I'm not that good of a cuddler to make someone
Oh,
stay
you're
with
gonna
me
say
because
this
I
now?
cuddle. I'm
After
the
2
best
weeks in a row,
cuddler
you denied me
alive,
some cuddling,
motherfucker. I'm
and
the
now
best
you're gonna
cuddler
tell me,
alive.
oh, I'll cuddle anybody.
I am-
Every time I ask him, he's got to go
I am
places.
the
I got a show
fucking
tonight, Mitch. I
Hank
can't
Aaron
cuddle
of
you.
cuddling,
That's
son.
cool. Whatever,
I'm the
motherfucker.
Jackie Robinson of cuddling.
You guys have an
know what
interesting
that means.
relationship.
I have no idea what that means.
I'm gonna put that on
You-
the
what-
I
Your-
digress. though.
Your
As
cuddling
Abby
played in
said,
the Negro Leagues? I'm confused.
I broke the cuddle bear.
Oh, I
That's what I'm
see.
saying.
I see. No, look, I'm just saying that there's a lot of terrible reasons people stay with each other.
But they are not as
yet-
all important.
Well, who knows? I'm not
We
here.
know.
I don't know
we
that.
do know. It's not as.
I've
really
never done
what
that.
you
I've never done
mean.
that.
You're on
I've
the
never
team,
done that.
Abby. You're adopted. You already said a thing. I agree with it. You're in.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I've never
I
done
agree,
that.
I agree.
Don't run away.
You've never stayed with somebody that you were unhappy with? Is that what you're saying?
I've done that, but never just because the sex was good.
But never. Just,
Well, what would you
but-
stay for then?
Usually the fear that they'll fuck somebody else.
Well, it's because of sex.
Well, yeah, but
He's
it's not
got
like.
a point.
You
He's got a
stay
point.
because of sex.
But it's like it's more like I
You
guess I
stay
feel like that
because-
weird.
Because
Look,
they would
it's-
enjoy sex more with someone else than you,
Can I-
which makes it.
Can I,
mean,
talk?
It's the same point.
Can I have a word, please?
No,
can
you
I
can't.
have a
You
Can I
can't.
have a talking? It's like it's not just the sex and whatever. It's a weird primal immature like I don't know. It's a weird thing where like in a logical state I can go like it's this and I don't know why and blah blah blah. But when I'm in that state, I'm like it's this other thing. It's this other thing. I don't know. It's base level jealousy. You know what I mean? There's that, and then there's definitely been like fear of loneliness and stuff like that. But it's never been like because the sex is so good. No. If I ever found myself doing that, I'd be like, well, no, I'd be
But
like,
I
you know
would-
what? Let's break up and just we'll be booty friends or something like that. Because if that was the case, that's the route I'd go. In fact, if that was the case, I wouldn't get in a relationship with them in the first place, which is kind of how I roll. Anyway, it's just sort of like everybody's got their place, in my life, and if you have a utility, then you stick around. If you don't, then you go.
Okay, here's the other thing I would propose. What you're saying is the inverse of what we were talking about, which is I can confidently say I've never worried about someone enjoying sex with someone more than me. I've never given a fuck about that for any partner that I was with.
Well, congratulations.
And that's what I'm saying though. But I'm saying that's the inverse. Like the inverse of like worrying about, oh, is our sex good enough? Is like, well, is their sex better? Or like, are you enjoying sex more? Or like, are they giving you more pleasure than I ever could in that way?
It's the pleasure thing.
Right,
Are they
but
making you
it's-
happier
so,
than
yeah,
I am?
Right. So that's
that's a
it's
weird.
No
It's
different.
just jealousy.
It's just but it's through
It's
the
based
looking
on.
glass.
Look, I'm not proud of this
I'm
about
not
me.
saying.
I'm just
I'm
telling
not
you
saying.
that's
You
how
know,
it
I'm
is.
just saying. But I'm saying the thing is like when you're saying, well, no, it's not that it's our sex is that good, but it's you the thing that you're describing.
Well,
is
you
just the
specifically
mirror.
started out on
I
if
get
it's
it.
you're
I
like,
get
oh,
it.
stay
All
with
right.
him because the sex is so good, and I'm saying I've never done that.
Fair. You have done it in a sense.
All right. Well, now we're just getting into an argument of semantics where I'm just not going to be right. Apparently.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I
You will
don't
not-
go
How many
for this.
relationships have you been in?
We're talking about like long-term relationships, whatever.
I guess.
guess I don't know. Okay.
Relationships, long or short.
Well, about 34, I guess. 34.
Mitch,
Lost count.
lost count,
Lost
just like
count.
the fucking cars.
Yeah. Lost count. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Just like the fucking cars.
Ah.
Lost
Yeah,
count.
lost
Whoa,
count.
solid
lost count,
callback.
Lost count. I don't sit around and go like, was that a relationship? Should I count that? No, I'm going to count that one. Well, that one lasted a week or whatever. I'm not. Who's got
Well,
time
you
for
really
that?
cared about people.
I do. I really care about
Well, the
people
relationships
enough.
where you like really.
I care about everybody. You know. Sometimes I think to myself, it would be a really bad idea for you to get mixed up with me. You should probably go your own way. In fact, that's most of what I think. It's like, hey, you don't want to be. This is all messed up.
you
You don't
ever
want
had-
any part of that.
Have you ever had any of that?
Have I ever had any? I'm
Any
sorry.
what he's describing where you're like,
Oh,
listen, you
you're
should-
all that's fucking all I had. But I have a problem, not a problem with guys like you, but I do have a bit of a problem. I mean, I've gotten to know you over the course of however long we've been talking, so I feel
Hour
like
40. Yeah, let's go.
I feel like you're better than the men that I am generally speaking of right now. So please don't think that I am
Look,
specifically.
everybody's
This is riffing.
generalizations
But
are
I-
generalizations. I
but
get
I,
it. Fine.
but I have specifically dealt with men who only use that as an excuse to never be with somebody who does make them happy.
Okay.
Never someone who says, "Look, you're really I've literally had a guy say this to me. Look, you're the most amazing fucking person I've ever met, but I'm a piece of shit." So, which is the most ridiculous thing that you can say to somebody because it's basically saying, "I don't deserve any amount of happiness whatsoever, no matter how happy you make me. So I'm just going to make sure that you don't get it either. I'm not gonna make sure that you don't even have a chance because I'm so screwed up." Which is just a ridiculous thing for me to think. And I specifically feel like a lot of LA men do that. Because a lot of LA men are in the industry and they have fucking all this shit. And they
You always hear the dating in LA is always a very different animal than everything else, especially for women.
I have
super
a-
hard.
I don't know. I have a ball date in LA. I'm
you get
okay
in a car
with
every
it.
6 months. You like to have
Right,
fun.
that's why I said for women dating
Life
in
is
LA,
about
I feel
having
like it's a
fun. Why
very
be so
different
serious?
animal.
Is
But
I guess what I'm saying.
think that if you're the kind of person who says, "Oh man, I really enjoy this person's time, but like I don't know if there could be a future here or not, so I'm just gonna immediately say, we should probably just have sex and not have anything more," is just the shittiest way to go about life.
That's fair. That's
Just
fair.
because you're not even allowing yourself to have an experience with somebody.
Sure,
Even if that
sure.
experience doesn't work out, to automatically assume that it's not going to work out because that's the pattern that you've created for yourself, mind you. Nobody made you have that pattern except for you.
Sure.
I think that is a shitty way to deal with life. And I get it. Like, you're in the industry. You have things to do. You got
Sure.
but to complete, it's not like for me, it was always like, I felt like the guys were like, "Oh, this girl's going to get super attached and then she's going to fucking want me to marry her." No,
They
like
assume
dating.
the worst from the
I
beginning.
like dating just as much as you do, you fucking asshole. That's a generalization about women that pisses me off. Is that women
Sure.
just want to hunker down and sit down and sit down and sit down. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right. I guess my thing is, generally speaking, I'm just like, hey, look, you don't know anybody's role in your life when you meet them. You know what I mean? You figure it out as you go, and they figure it out, and so on and so forth.
Right.
If somebody comes with the question of like, what's my role, and like, where are we going with this, and stuff like that, that concerns me because I'm like, Are you
that I can
not?
understand,
Are you
because
not?
then
Because that's the thing where I'm go like, okay, so some part of whatever in you isn't fulfilled by this,
But
and that's not a judgment on that. It's just that if you don't like, I feel like we're having this conversation, not us right now. I'm saying me and this hypothetical woman would be having that conversation because they feel in some way that maybe they want more or there needs to be a next step or something like that. And it's like cross that bridge when you come to it.
Well, how is that
That's
any
all.
different than you saying the opposite and saying that you feel like you want less? That person's just sort of like voicing their own. Like, I can understand how, as a guy or something like that, the guy could be like, "Ugh, she's like, where is this going? Where is this going?" If it's been 2 days and you're putting sticky notes on shit, like, I get it. You know what I mean?
One day,
But
that
but
was
if
the
it's
one.
been
No,
but
no,
if it's
I'm with
been
you.
if it's been a couple weeks, or if it's been a month, or if it's been 2 months, everybody's different. So if somebody wants to know sooner rather than later, that doesn't mean that they're still not like saying like, "Look, where's this going?" I'm on a time clock.
Right,
They might
right.
generally just be wondering.
Okay.
Well, I
and
think- well,
those
no, hold-
kinds of people, however, when those kinds of things come up, in my head, I think, okay, I don't think we're gonna get along very well. If they want to know that, and there's,
But
you know what I'm saying?
No, I do. I think this is the gap, though. I think this is the gap is that there's the assumption of some sort of ill intent. I guess it seems like it's coming from the end of like, because someone is inquiring, like, okay, listen. And I think I think the thing that is going kind of minimized, especially for where all of our perspectives are coming from, is that the LA dating scene, more than any other dating scene, is a fucking Lord of the Flies jungle atmosphere. So everything is exponentially heightened. And I think I can very well understand how, especially women, would, after a couple of weeks of meeting someone that they feel very comfortable and inclined towards and personable with, would be like, listen, I just kind of want to know what the fuck's going on here. Like, I don't want to put any fucking shackles on you. I don't
Sure,
want to fucking
sure.
put you on a fucking time schedule. I just want to know kind of where your head is at. And I think that's a very fair question.
Yeah, it's a
And
very
I,
fair question.
and I
There's
think,
nothing wrong with that.
and that's what the problem is, that your whole thing is like, if someone asks you that fair question, you're like, well, we're not gonna get along anymore. That's kind of what you're saying. Am I, Abby? Are you hearing me correctly? I mean, Mitch, and I know, Mitch.
no.
No, like that's what you have been saying, Mitch. And I think
I
that
wasn't saying like a couple
you
weeks, but-
have been saying that, and it's really that's the problem. Is that
Look,
it's a
everybody's
fucking
different.
fair question, bro. Like
It is.
it's a
That's
real.
fine.
And if you think you're not gonna get along, it's cool to fucking dismiss them. I get it, but like, fuck, man, it's a fair question. I guess like just know that you're dismissing someone on a fair question. I guess is the thing. You
I'm
have
not,
to know.
but that's the thing. I haven't had that question in years, so it's not. This is not something.
So
that
what?
comes
Like
up.
what happened when that
Well,
question
wait,
happened?
wait. The last time that question happened, I talked about it on this show. It didn't. I didn't talk about it when it happened, but I talked about on this show the last time it happened, which was 2 years ago or something like that. And I told you where I had the conversation with that girl who at one point had told me I only date this kind of guy because all guys are going to cheat. So I date a guy below my threshold so that I have options outside of him.
Who is this bitch?
Anyway. Right. So, but
Come
that's got
on,
nothing.
that's
But that has
right.
nothing to do.
Red
That
flag
has nothing to
patrol.
do with me.
It does have.
Well, listen. The only way I only bring it up, I didn't want to like make a big thing out of this whole thing because we talked about it
Abby
at length
does.
on a different episode. But
I
the point is,
love
that was
it.
sort of her. She had told me that like during some drunken night, and it sounded like one of those confessions that you only hear in a movie. And you'd be like, nobody would ever say that out loud. A lot of people probably think it in their head, but they never say it. So fast forward a few weeks, we had hung out several times, things like this. And we had just a discussion about relationships, not us specifically, just in general. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm still, at that time, I'd only been broken up from my last long relationship for maybe a few months. And I was like, I'm still kind of, I don't want to jump right into something. I don't know where I'm at. And I'm just kind of having fun. She's like, all right. And then she just left. And that was the end of that. So, look, that's going to happen. But all for the better, because if we were having that, I didn't know we were having that conversation, but had we had that conversation, I've been like, listen, I've heard your MO, and I'm not down with your MO. So, like, had we actually had the conversation, that would have been my answer anyway. So I'm not, and by all means, she's free to go. And, obviously if what I said bothered her, then
Well,
It would be
I
better
think
if we
that's
worked together.
fair. I'm just saying, I think I agree with Teddy. There's certain assumption when people ask questions like that,
Sure.
where they're like, "Oh, yeah, you know what? You should just go. You should just bow out now." And it's just a fucking question. It's the
Yeah,
same.
you don't assume. Hold on, don't assume that I just go. Well, we're done. I merely when you were talking about. Look, when you said early on, maybe in my head, and your early on and my early on. When you say early on, I was thinking like within a few like days or something. Or like whatever, I was gonna be like, okay, that would be a little weird. Like I was where I'd be like, you know, and if you need to know that so quickly, we're probably not gonna get. Now, if it's like some
it's
weeks
months,
down,
whatever, you
if
know
it's
what I
let's say
mean?
whatever, let's say it's months down the line, you know what I mean, and they're like, listen, I just want to know where this is going. Yes, fair question. We can have a conversation about that.
But
I
if
think
somebody
there's
did
no
ask you that-
there's no problem
so
with that.
You're
I
saying,
don't
though, that if
assume
somebody
anything.
did ask you that, if a girl was like, "You've been dating," let's say you've been dating for 5 weeks, and the girl was like, "Hey, I really like you."
What constitutes dating in this?
You know what it
scenario?
is.
I really don't.
You know
I've been
what
wondering
it is.
this
You
for a
know
while.
what it is.
I literally
You
have.
know what- Fuck with us right
don't
now.
you fucking know what you don't act like
don't
you
need to
don't
get
know
into
what I'm
semantics.
talking about. No,
you are seeing. You are consistently sleeping with the same person and going out.
Just the same person.
You had a conversation
What the
and
fuck, man?
Mitch,
Yeah.
okay?
Mitch,
I'm just.
Mitch, you know.
I mean, that's already pretty serious.
Mitch, you done already had the conversation in your head about are we exclusive, which already means that you are exclusive. You just haven't talked with each other. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, are we dating each other only separately? Do you know what I mean? Like, are we kind of seeing each other exclusively?
Oh, I just think
stopped
you're.
thinking about that for a long time ago. Sorry, I don't
Abby's,
think about
Abby's
that.
onto a different line
No,
of thinking now.
I just
Sorry.
no. You're a different breed. That's the thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like if I say the thing like you're dating and you say whoa, and then that automatically makes me put you on a different plane. You know what I mean?
It's fair to get
On a
terms.
different, which is totally fucking fine. You know
Some
what
people
I mean?
have different
There's-
words for dating. Now,
different-
some people might think dating is like you've
Okay,
gone on a few
well,
dates.
What is dating?
Is dating.
What is seeing exclusively? Whatever.
Oh well,
You're
seeing
cons-
exclusively
If you were-
is
if you-
definitely dating.
Okay,
Yeah.
5 weeks with a like 5 week time frame for you. What is that?
How many
indicate?
dates in that 5 weeks?
It's
You met a
Are you
girl.
assuming?
Okay, you met a chick. You start hooking up together for the
Sure.
first week. You go on a
Right.
date, an actual date.
I go on dates all the time.
Mitch,
I like dates.
let Abby
Okay.
finish the scenario.
Just before you go assuming.
Mitch,
Okay.
she's not
You
making
go
any
on multiple
implications.
dates.
Okay.
You're not sleeping with anybody else, but you haven't discussed it.
Okay.
You haven't discussed exclusivity.
Okay.
You're sleeping with the same
Okay.
person 5 weeks, whatever. Okay.
Real
It's
vague.
just
Might be a long
happening.
time. That's a
You're
dry
not hanging out
spell.
with.
Yeah,
not
because
hanging
you're real anxious.
She
Alright.
comes up to you and she says, "Hey, I really like you. I'm into you. I just
Yeah.
want to know, like, you know, how are you feeling? Where's your head at? Like,
Yeah.
how do you feel about me?"
Right.
In that moment, do you just out of curiosity, do you say, "Oh, she wants to get serious," so you tell her, like, you're having the most fun with this girl?
I understand your
Super
point.
happy.
You don't have to.
Do you keep seeing her?
Your
Do
question
you
is
keep
yeah.
seeing her? Or
I-
do you
yeah, yeah,
tell
yeah.
her that you're not looking for anything serious, but that you still want to hang out with her? Yada 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 yada. Or
Yeah. Okay.
do you say what you just said, which was, "I'm not really."
You need, you need to get out of my living room right now.
I'm not really, because
Get your
coming
hand out
from
my pocket.
a woman, but granted, I'm probably not as crazy as some of the chicks that you date, but like,
Fair play. Fair play to the Abbey.
Oh my
But like,
god, that's a
would you
that's
then say
great.
to that
I really
chick,
should
like,
not have
"Look,
brought up this
I'm
note,
not,
the
I'm not
sticky
look-
note thing.
I'm not looking into anything serious."
Right,
Or
right,
would you
right.
say, "Look, I've been having fun with you too," and leave it at that? Would you run?
No. Everything's open for negotiation. Everything.
Would you put up some sort of fence?
No. No. Everything's open to negotiation. Everything's open for discussion. I don't believe in like hiding and going, well, hopefully she won't talk about this, and then everything's fine as long as she doesn't bring this up. I'm never like that. No, I don't. Everything's open for discussion. That's all. So it depends greatly on the person and the situation.
Yeah, but we talk
and a
about the
variety
most
of things.
favorable circumstances possible.
Oh,
This
are you?
5
I thought
weeks
you were just
time frame.
talking in general.
No, we're talking about you in this 5 weeks. We're trying to get
Well-
a.
Well, if she's like some super awesome, I can't wait to see her a whole bunch. And look, I'm
texting her random
I'm an
smiley faces and
obsessive-
shit in the middle of the
I'm
day.
an obsessive person. Like
You know
in my
bitches don't
mind, like
smiley
I'll
faces.
obsess over. I'm one of those people who will, put their last name down and sign mine and go, what works here? And let's see, does that sound right with
You're a
Marzoni?
middle school girl?
Like, oh yeah, I think of like I think of like, will she let me name
Abby
our
just
first
did a
kid
double take.
Damien? Like,
That is
well,
great.
you know what I mean?
That
Can
is-
I
That is not what I expected.
can I give them a
I
middle
didn't-
name of
I-
Diablo?
you
like,
may have thought our relationship was weird before this, but it's going to a different level now because I
This
didn't
turned into the
expect
Mitch
that either.
relationship hour. For
no, I'm
sure.
just telling you that
mean,
like I think about shit all the time, so everything's
Unfairly
open for
to him.
discussion. That's fine. I try to have these conversations kind of started out. If somebody comes out of left field with a conversation, then I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. But I try to have enough. So yeah, certainly if it was a girl who I was just like, oh, this is everything's awesome, and I've thought about all that thing. Because I make lists, in my head of like, okay, this goes in the pro column, this is a con, this is a nope. Mm-mm. And there's some things that are like this is pro, but there's no way will be exclusive con. I'll put that in a different column.
You got like
You know,
a
things like
6-column
that.
Excel chart going on.
So I'm just saying. So if they were
wait,
like,
do you
listen,
do you for real like write down pros and cons?
no, just in
Oh,
my
okay.
head. I don't think I've written.
I was
down.
like, dang.
no,
There's
just
a
in
lot
my
I
in
did
my
not
head.
know
Shit
about
is- shit is hard out
in my
here.
head, I think about this shit. That's all.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So yeah, if this person, if this is somebody that I've thought about that with, and the pro column is looking good, and the con column doesn't have things like has a child. You know what I mean?
Look,
There's
I
nothing
feel like
that.
I've been picking on you. I don't want you to think that.
I
I don't want you
I'm
to
fine.
feel like I think you're an asshole. That's
I know
not what
Teddy
I think.
thinks that. I don't think that you think that.
Wait,
I
appreciate
don't
that.
oh,
think
come
you're an
on.
asshole.
Oh,
I get it.
I don't think you.
No, I don't feel.
You,
I don't
bitch.
feel picked on.
Bitch, you know I love you.
No,
Baby, I love you, baby.
here's a test.
Come on. Ain't it made
If
the
you had a
cake?
single female friend, would you want her to go on a date with me?
Yeah. You know that.
You're like, yeah.
Bitch, look,
Yeah.
I
All right,
we done
okay.
hung out with women.
Can't we agree that it depends on the female friend?
Oh, up top. Up top.
I'll do
Yeah,
that.
we'll do that. Everybody get in on that one. I ain't
It's a
gonna leave you
three-way
hanging
up
on that
top.
one. I think
Absolutely.
it's good.
And it depends on the 5-week girl or whatever. And if she doesn't have any,
The
if she doesn't
5-week
have
girl.
any absolutely no's
She's like a unicorn
in the
now.
con, like, or not in the con, in the possibility, if there's no like, then we're definitely open for negotiation. If that is the case, then yeah, at some point, because the thing is, I'll limit my time with somebody greatly if I'm feeling like, you know what, this doesn't have legs or wheels or whatever. This is not going to go the distance or anything else like that. So
Right,
I will
okay.
intentionally. I don't lead people on. I don't believe in lying to people.
Yeah.
In intimate situations.
Just
I should
the
say.
five-week girl.
I'll lie to people all day otherwise, but in intimate
Fantastic.
situations, I don't do that.
Bro, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yo, if you could put that on a fucking business card, that would be amazing.
A lot of people all the time.
Not in
Unless
the-
it's
on the
intimate.
back. On the back, though. Not in intimate situations.
That's
Oh,
right.
well, that's good.
I've never lied.
Get
I've
in
never
good with
lied
that.
to get somebody into bed. I've never lied to get somebody into a relationship. I've never lied to get out of a relationship. I don't.
He
no,
has
don't
not
do that.
said that he has lied to get someone out of bed, however.
Oh no, I've definitely done that. That's what lying is for. Yeah. Anyway, my point is that
I cracked the code. I cracked it.
my point is that if I feel that way and I can sense it early on, then yeah, I intentionally limit my exposure or I limit
Alright,
my
then.
activities and things like that, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm on board.
Everybody has a spot. Everybody's got a utility, and if you don't, you don't belong. And if you do belong, then here's your utility, and then we're cool.
I'll tell you where else everybody has a spot. The Riot LA Comedy Festival.
Fucking ain't
Is
right.
it that time?
It is.
We are. We can go into overtime. We can do some bonus shit
Yeah,
if
it's
you
up to
really
you.
want.
It's
but
up to me. No,
Yeah.
I want to get the fuck out of here.
I feel
no.
it. I get that. I
You
get
crazy
it.
asshole.
We get it. We get it. You've done a lot of psychoanalysis. We understand.
I have been
It's a
up
good time.
since 6 a.m.
Yeah, I'm sure you're in the
so-
whirlwind right
Tom,
now.
hot damn. All right.
'cause you're on unemployment and you work out of your house.
Now I go into offices.
That is a great way
I've got
to
clients with
bring it on
offices.
into
I
the
go work
station.
at offices remotely. You know,
Yeah.
even
that's
though
good.
it's
Okay.
hilarious because this is normally considered remotely in any other situation, but this is not remote. But yeah. Well, whatever. Yeah. Anyhow,
How was this particular podcast comparable to others? I would like
up
to
until
know.
the last 20 minutes, fantastic.
No, fantastic. Through the last 20 minutes,
Poor
which was an
Mitch.
epic.
Poor Mitch.
Tomorrow
Epic,
I'm gonna listen
epic.
to this and I'm gonna go.
You're going to appreciate it.
And I'm gonna go. This is the boring part.
No, it's not.
I'm
This
just
is the
listening
great
to
part.
me talk to myself
No,
out
it's
loud in
great.
front of other people.
You know what? You know what it is. It's not that because I'll tell you, I always enjoy whenever it's like when we talked about the other day. Mitch, we're trying to do like a podcast network, and he wants to do a dating show. He wants to have a female
the
co-host.
sex and dating show. Yeah, yeah.
And so like he gave me his parameters for a female co-host, which I was trying to grill him on, and I was like, so it's like a girl that you've had sex with, but you're platonic with now. Essentially, is what we like got down to at the end part. So I'm always curious to hear Mitch's theories on these things go up against someone not in the abstract. And someone such as yourself who has encountered people, as you taught about the guy, like, well, listen, I would date you, but I'm a piece of shit. So like, it's amazing.
No, I
worlds
appreciate.
be colliding
I
for
appreciate
me.
the fuck out of the fact that you bring up that point of view. I appreciate that we had a conversation about it. I just won't ever listen to it again. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm glad it
I'm
happened.
on board with that. I'm
You know?
totally on board with that.
I'm glad it happened. I hope it was entertaining for people at home. I feel like it probably wasn't, but I have
Shout
no
out
idea.
Riffopolis, we
Sometimes
did
you
it.
don't know. I
Yes.
have no idea. But I do appreciate because naturally, as these things go,
Naturally.
while I don't ever get to hear that side because nobody's going to say that in the middle of these conversations, you also, the reason you brought that up is because those guys that you speak of, you never got to go, seriously, dude, you realize what you're doing? You never got to do that with
Fair
them.
enough. I'll take that.
So it's
I will
fun,
also-
right?
Oh yeah, it was totally fun
Yeah.
for me. I hope they all fucking listen to this and that pieces of shit they were. No, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm completely, entirely fascinated by human behavior and the reasons behind it.
As
So,
am I.
For me,
I'm with you.
This is a standard
Yeah, yeah.
kind of
the
comedian
last 20
thing, I
minutes
think.
were my favorite.
Okay. All right,
no,
good.
Mitch,
that's a
you
lie.
don't
No.
give it enough credit. You don't give it enough credit. She
I'm-
really enjoyed the part about the
Okay.
fuck village, is what she.
Comedy Fuck Village is
It's
going
a
to be
cabin. It's a
Alright.
fucking cabin. It's a
You
fuck
can have a
cabin,
cabin
you guys.
in the
It's
village.
the Abraham Lincoln Memorial Comedy.
Cabins aren't in villages. They're in woods.
She's-
Far
it's fair.
away.
That's fair. You know,
When the word village was invented, there were cabins nearby.
then they were all in woods though.
I don't.
That's fine. You can put some trees up and shit. I don't care. Look, I'm not here to tell you how to do the
You could have
interior
some-
design.
You could have some
Wait a minute.
saplings
I'm running
and
the
shit.
Comedy Fuck Village. I am going to tell you how to do the exterior design.
Right.
Anyway,
Well,
okay.
it's a power
Normally,
grab.
this is where we say, what do you want to plug? What are you doing? But it's all Riot LA for you right now.
Wait, no,
isn't it?
you got all the
Oh,
websites
Riot
and
LA.
stuff.
Twitter handle at Riot LA, Facebook.com/Riot LA. The website is riotla.com.
Awesome.
Early bird passes are going to be available not for too much longer. We only set a limited amount of early bird passes, so as soon as those are snatched up, they're gone.
What outside of the special price do you get for being an early bird?
Do you
Just the special price.
just the special price? I
Okay.
mean, obviously you
Fair.
get into the lot and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if we sell too many of those passes, then we're probably going to have to maybe not give access to the lot, but we don't want to hold anybody from that. So it'll just be I'm not like, you know what I mean? The passes are $45. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
like insanely cheap for.
Yeah, it's like a night of drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm with you.
I mean, that's like a round of drinks in LA, basically.
Yeah.
So it's nothing for.
And then you've
Exactly.
also got some more announcements coming out about the
Yeah.
about guests. Where can they can check those out on the?
Yeah,
On the
I
Twitters
mostly
and the
post-
Facebookins?
I mostly post on Facebook and on Twitter for sure.
Awesome.
Best
Tomorrow morning at about 10 o'clock a.m. we'll be posting a huge announcement
Awesome.
for
awesome.
the Saturday, September 22nd, 8 o'clock slot.
Okay.
And then,
And then do
we
you-
have a piece coming out in LA Magazine at the end of this month. The LA Times is doing an article
Good stuff.
next month. So.
See, this is why we should not have had this conversation. We should have put that in the bonus because now we're just gonna be like Riot LA, and then like, oh, Riot Abbey Londer, Riot LA was on a podcast. I want to listen to that, and then everybody's.
That's gonna be great. It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
get like 3 weeks
if
of
you
email.
don't think that
Let me
people can
bring this
fucking
up.
relate to the last 20 minutes of this
Okay,
podcast,
so-
you are crazy.
Yeah,
No, I'm not
right?
saying they
Come
can't
on,
relate.
Mitch, come
I'm
on.
saying
They
now I
enjoy
have
that.
to.
Mitch, Mitch,
No,
you do
you're
it.
totally hooked
All
on the
right.
fact that it has to be
Nothing.
funny
No,
all
no,
the time.
I'm not hooked on that. I'm more like
Put shades
I don't
on.
need
Are
to
you
have
guarded?
this. I don't need to
Are
have
you
this debate with
protective?
everybody who
Yeah.
emails me for the next month.
I think you found your
what's
new
gonna happen.
co-host for your dating podcast, Mitch. I would love to see you and Abby fucking fence against each other. For that would
it
be
would be
hell.
arguing.
fine.
No, I don't know.
No, I wouldn't.
It
I
would
wouldn't
be
want
good.
a sex and
Big
arguing podcast.
It wouldn't be not
Maybe
arguing.
like,
That's gold.
tell
That's
me
no,
about your
There was
childhood.
no argument
What
going
happened?
on
Do you
there.
like your parents?
That was
Like, it would be
great,
stuff like
witty
that.
repartee.
Hey, I'm. You know, she's been an
where-
awesome guest. I'm not. I'm merely. Eric, go ahead.
Where
I will
can
say
people
no
find
more.
you, Abby Londer, individually?
I'm on Twitter at Abbey Londer, and then I'm on Facebook too. But I mean,
Been busy
it's-
with all
it's-
the stuff.
It's just busy with riot stuff. So go follow that stuff. Don't follow me.
Follow all the riot stuff.
Follow all
Okay.
the riot
Okay.
stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And the festival is September 21st to the 23rd in downtown Los Angeles.
Awesome sauce. Teddy, what you got coming up?
This Thursday, Federal Bar will be hosting. Been a while since I've been at Federal Bar, so come on out, bitches. We'll be doing the damn thing out there. Mitch?
Word. I will be answering emails of people who want to psychoanalyze me, apparently. Thank you. And we're good.
Great. Good night, bitches.
Thanks for listening to Straight Riffin'. You can catch all past and future episodes of Straight Riffin' on the official website riffin.net, riffin.net. Keep in mind, we do